Now the Giants' turn to try and answer. And here's Saquon Barkley. And he's off to the races. The 30, the 20. Saquon for 6. Deep to right field. Oh, baby. Put it on the scoreboard. The kid has done it again. Jordan. Open. Chicago with the lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening to everybody. Welcome to the Lewis Sports Network. It is your boy Lewis coming back at you once again with another heavy hitter live stream banger with yet another video. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that notification bell is turned on. So make sure you guys are getting all the latest notifications from the Lewis Sports Network. Also, man, make sure to share this on your social media platforms. I truly appreciate it. And make sure to comment after this live stream when the replay is available. Truly appreciate it. Yo, shout out to my man Jay Jefferson coming in, first guest in the building, man. Jay, what's going on, man? How's everything with you, brother?
Everything's good, man. How are you, Lou? How's the family and stuff?
All right, man. Everybody's doing good, man. Appreciate that, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to Poseidon. Salute to Jay. Salute to LeBron James, the GOAT. Appreciate you coming on through. Shout out to Karam as well. Yeah, but we got to talk about this, man, because I just put the video up shortly. If you guys haven't seen it, I gave kind of like my small thoughts on it. Make sure to go comment on that below. But we're going to talk the full breakdown on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard, the Rockets have come into agreement in principle. I found out from Sham Charania, and I also found out from Adrian Wojnarowski. I call him Watch the GOAT because he's always on the latest news, finding out things from the NBA. Those are real true insiders. When it's from them, you know it's a legit source. The Houston Rockets have agreed in principle to trade Russell Westbrook to the Washington Wizards for John Wall and a 2023 first-round pick. Jay, what's your thoughts on that deal, man?
Man, all I can say is unbelievable, man. I don't understand it, man. Like John Wall, like you basically get like the same player almost. Basically, you get a Houston, they get a John Wall, a guy that can't shoot from the perimeter at all. He's injury prone, and he has a huge contract. Like I don't understand that, man. And then Westbrook, he's just gonna go to Washington, and he's just gonna ruin the chemistry. Bradley Beal gonna ask for a trade. And then they're gonna have to start over again from scratch, man. So it's a lose-lose situation on both sides.
The way I see this, man, and I get your points, man, because I can see it, man. But there's just things that I gotta look at this, man. I just said in my video that this is the second straight offseason that Russell Westbrook has been traded for another point guard. I saw what happened when he got traded for CP3, and that was the Thunder, but the Thunder were pretty smart in what they did. Mm-hmm. But you're looking at the Washington Wizards, and they decided to trade John Wall. First of all, John Wall has not played basketball in 2 years. So he tore his Achilles and he tore his ACL. Russell Westbrook, even though he averaged 27 a game, again, that's a little bit of fool's gold because his game has kind of declined with the injuries the last couple of seasons, even though he played well. So I'm not going to take that away from Russell Westbrook. But if you watch Russell Westbrook, especially if you saw him in the playoffs, yeah, he was hampered by the hamstring. But my thing is, you trade a point guard for max money and you get back a point guard for max money, especially with a point guard who hasn't played in 2 years. So you don't know what you're going to get out of John Wall. That's number one. And you get Russell Westbrook for the Washington Wizards. Guess what? He's reunited with Scott Brooks. Didn't Scott Brooks let him do what he wanted in OKC, making him think he was the number one guy in OKC? It's a reason why Kevin Durant left by the time that Billy Donovan got there. Yeah. So now, guess what? That just tells me that Bradley Beal's going to want to head out because what did Bradley Beal say? He wants to be the reason that the Wizards turn it around. And it's funny because he has said some things about John Wall over these couple of years, but at the same time, he actually said that there was no issues and he was trying to see if he could make it work with John Wall. But I think that their ship has sailed with that because they had their chances when they were both healthy. But now you get Russell Westbrook, and it's like you already know how Scott Brooks feels about him. So that just tells me that Bradley Beal, in my opinion, is going to ask for a trade. So it just doesn't make any sense from what they're doing, which tells me that James Harden is going to get traded and Bradley Beal is going to ask for a trade. You know, that's what this is telling me. So It doesn't make any sense, man. Let me just look in the comment real quick. Poseidon says the Rockets won this trade by a mile. Rockets ain't getting far with Westbrook. If John Wall could get 80% of his form, I could see 20.7 assists as a player. Now, let me just say this real quick. The Houston Rockets, they just did sign DeMarcus Cousins, right? And shout out to Sly. He says, who won this trade? I'm going to be honest.
Nobody.
This is not a winnable situation, honestly, man, in my personal opinion, because I don't think the Rockets won this trade because DeMarcus Cousins, he signed, and DeMarcus is happy because him and John Wall are back together again because they both played in Kentucky. But here's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't know. Here's the thing also that they don't want to understand. We don't know what DeMarcus Cousins is going to be. Have y'all seen the injuries that he has suffered in the last 4 seasons? So we don't know what he's going to be like. He's also torn an Achilles. He's also had ACL. He also had a quad injury as well. So you don't know what DeMarcus Cousins is going to be like neither, even though he did lose weight.
Yeah, he ain't gonna have no type of versatile game anymore because of those injuries, bro. Yeah.
And also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but remember, DeMarcus Cousins was looking for money. He turned down that Pelicans deal, and then he got injured. And right now he has no choice, but right now had to sign the minimum. But if I know DeMarcus Cousins, he's gonna be looking to put up some beast stats so that he could get himself at least a little bit of payday. Trying to see if he can get a deal from a team if they don't do that. But so let me ask you this, man. What do you think this means for James Harden now? Do you think that because the Rockets are going to say, I bet you the owner's going to say, well, now they're going to try to compete. The Rockets have made it clear that they're not going to trade Harden. So they're going to do what they can to try to get the most out of him unless they can find a suitable partner. But do you think that this forces Harden even more to want to ask a trade and get out of Houston?
I think this trade might have Harden wanted to stay now because I will say this about John Wall. He's more of a true point guard than Russell Westbrook ever been. So I will say that. So if since they got John Wall now with the Rockets, that might convince Harden to stay. Harden might just want to stay, man, because now he's going to be able to get his shots that he always wanted. He don't have to share the load with Westbrook. He got John Wall, which is more of a natural point guard. So that's what I think.
Okay. Those are fair points. Let me ask you this though. Do you think that the reason that James Harden wants to leave Houston more so than quote unquote go to the Brooklyn Nets is because more so that Mike D'Antoni is there because he was just with him last year and Mike D'Antoni pretty much let him get the green light with all the shots that he takes. So do you think that's a reason? Do you think that James Harden really wants to win a championship, or do you think that because Mike D'Antoni's there because he's going to be pulling the strings with Steve Nash because guess what? Steve Nash played under Mike D'Antoni. So do you think he will go to Mike D'Antoni as if to say, well, I get to do the same thing in the East that I got to do in the West when we were together with the Rockets, in your opinion?
I don't think so because he's not going to be able to do that in Brooklyn because of Kevin Durant, man. He ain't going to tolerate that, man. He already had to go through that with Russell Westbrook. So you really think he's going to have to go? You really think he's going to let James Harden do that to him? Because Westbrook already did that. And I know Durant's a smart guy, so, he had a learning experience, and I know he's not going to let Harden do that. And then you got Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? That's going to mess up the chemistry. It's going to mess up the chemistry. Yeah.
And listen, man, we already know that Kyrie Irving, to me, in my opinion, he has to play the good guy, but deep down he knows he doesn't want James Harden on that team.
He don't want him there. Yeah.
He does not. He does not want him there.
He don't want him there.
Yeah. Let me just look in the comments. Poseidon says, if healthy, this Rockets team would have beaten the Lakers in the bubble. I don't know about that one.
Nah, you reaching now.
Because the thing is, here's the question with the Rockets: what kind of style of play is Steven Silas known for? I haven't seen him coach much to really know what kind of system are they going to run with him. Because remember, with Mike D'Antoni, they ran the James Harden ISO offense where he got to shoot threes, he got to drive to the basket and draw fouls. What kind of system are they going to run with Silas compared to Mike D'Antoni? So I don't know. Are they gonna use DeMarcus Cousins? And it's like I said again. We don't know. John Wall has not played organized basketball in 2 years. He looks in great shape. But again, all the training you want, he still doesn't have a jump shot 10 plus years in the league. So that's another problem. And in the postseason, if you're a 3-point shooting team, you need a mid-range shooter a guy who can get you a mid-range bucket. Who is going to do that for you on the Houston Rockets? It's not going to be James Harden. James Harden shoots threes and gets to the cup and gets free throws. That's his style of play. John Wall still doesn't have a jump shot. DeMarcus Cousins can stretch the floor, but his strength is really more so on the inside. So my thing is, where are they going to get that mid-range player from? And the thing is, and look who they lost. First of all, they're trying to get rid of Eric Gordon. They just lost Austin Rivers to the Knicks.
For real?
Yeah, Austin Rivers signed with the Knicks.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
It's going to be part of that sign and trade. But my thing is, so you're losing these pieces, and we don't know what this Houston Rockets team is going to look like. That's why I said that I don't even know. So let me just look into the comments real quick. That 8th seed in the East is going to be a dogfight between the Wizards. Hey, the Atlanta Hawks, they low key got better.
They did.
The Gallinari's got to stay healthy. He is inconsistent, but I think with a point guard like Trae Young, I think Gallinari will have a good season. And again, they got Rondo, so you got experience with him. So I think that
playoff Rondo. Yeah.
So you added some veteran help with that young team. I think that they're going to take that next 7-5 for that playoff spot in the 8th. Shout out to Valley Sports, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to his channel if you haven't. Harden and Wall is not going to work out. I don't see it because I don't see it only for the fact that John Wall can't shoot. I can see it in terms of playmaking ability, yes. But again, the Houston Rockets, they don't have a mid-range go-getter, so they need that. They need that, and I don't think that's going to happen in the playoffs. And again, James Harden is not your go-to guy, and he realized that because that's why he's trying to get out of Houston to go to Brooklyn. I think he's willing to be the third guy, unless if he's trying to get his share with Kevin Durant. And like I said, Kyrie Irving is the wild card on that.
Right.
LeBron James says, let's not overhype the Nets. We got to wait and see, but they're a deep team. Like I said, I already said about defense. I'm not overhyping the Nets. You was already part of the video when I already talked about that. Shout out to my main man, one of my homies, man. That's the bro for life right there, Rio Martinez, man. Salute to you, bro. Got to get you on one of these live streams, man, one of these days for sure. Again, this trade is terrible. They're pretty much the same player. Exactly. Jay was saying the same damn thing.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. This is really the same thing. That's what I kind of see. It's just I feel like John Wall is more of a playmaking, pure, traditional point guard in that aspect, just athletic. Similar. Westbrook, he had the elbow jumper. John Wall, like I said, when John Wall's focused, he could be the best point guard in the league, and there's moments where he doesn't. I mean, like I said, both of these players, as dynamic and talented as they are, man, athletic at their position, these guys, to me, left too much on the table, in my opinion, for them to be, in terms of, like, they could have been really one of the better point guards in the league. And they could have been winners, too.
Yeah.
They don't commit defensively, in my opinion, as much as they should either.
They don't like to sacrifice. That's the problem. Yeah.
Okay, LeBron says, who is a better scorer of this decade, Harden or Kevin Durant? Harden could put up the numbers, but when you look at the eye test, it's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can score everywhere on the floor. And he does it at such an efficient clip, man. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. With James Harden, you have to guard him in areas. That's the difference with him. There's certain spots that if you take it away from Harden, he's not as effective. First of all, if you take away Kevin Durant can score at will without getting to the free throw line. That's how good KD is. He don't need the free throws. And the thing
he can give you 40 with 10 shots.
That's how efficient Kevin Durant is. Exactly. It's true. It's true. Jay just said it right there. KD could get you 40 points on 10 shots. He could. I mean, this guy got what? He had a 38-point game in the NBA Finals in 2017. He got it on 17 shots.
Yeah.
That's just crazy efficiency, man.
That's
in less than 20 shots, you got almost 40 points. Sorry.
That's crazy.
Shout out to my man Octavius, man. We got to see what Cousins going to look like. Exactly. We don't know what he's going to look like. DeMarcus Cousins, come on, he's constantly been injured. And even with the Warriors, when he was starting to get into shape, he got injured again in the playoffs. And he got injured again in the finals. So
I haven't seen Cousins play since the finals, man. NBA Finals when Golden State played the Toronto Raptors.
Right.
Yeah, that was the last time I seen him.
Yeah. Is this offseason move worse than the Mason Plumlee signing with Detroit? I wasn't too big on that Mason Plumlee signing, honestly, especially with the way he played against the Lakers, and that told me enough. With all due respect to Mason Plumlee. Quick question. What's your thoughts on Detroit getting LiAngelo Ball?
Oh man, I heard about that today on my news feeds and shit, man. I don't know, man. We're gonna have to wait and see on that. I mean, it's very interesting, man. I couldn't believe they did it, man. But I'm just gonna have to. I'm taking the wait and see approach. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I ain't gonna speak on it too much.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, shout out to my man Toby, man, who's all about the boxing, man. Appreciate that, brother, man. He says, "What up, Lewis in the chat? Salute, hit that like button and support the channel. Truly appreciate you, Toby, as always, my man. That dude is one of these guys from D's channel." And let me just say this real quick. D, shout out to D. I know he had surgery. I don't know what he had surgery for. But his surgery was successful.
Prayers go to him. Yeah.
And no, he's all good. The surgery was a success, and he's just recuperating and he's just resting. And I think D should be back on YouTube probably tomorrow or Friday. And I got to talk about some stuff because, guys, December 22nd, man, we're back with NBA basketball. Christmas, we got 5 games. We gotta definitely talk about that stuff coming up pretty much soon. So, but again, man, shout out to my man Speaking My Sports Talk, man. Hope you're resting real well, D. Can't wait to see you on YouTube in a few days, man. Tomorrow, not Friday, whenever, man. Salute to you, bro. All right, my man Rio says, I suggest they move Russell to the 2. I've been saying this for years. Russell Westbrook is a 2 guard. He's a 2 guard playing the 1 position, but
he's stubborn. Yeah, he don't want to play the 2.
And like I said, man, I feel like he could have been working on his shot, at least in terms of his elbow jumper at the very least. But my thing is that Russell plays very hard, but the thing is he doesn't play smart. And the thing is sometimes he takes plays off on defense. He could be a very good defender for his position. It's just he doesn't play it like he should. And that's why I get annoyed with Russ sometimes.
Yeah, because at UCLA, he was a great defender. That's what he was known for. I don't know when he played in college. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. Shout out to Freddie Gee. Appreciate you coming through. Poseidon says, I feel like the Rockets had to move on from Westbrook. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's just crazy how they traded for him, and in 1 year they traded him away. That's the crazy thing that I can't get over. He holds them back too much with his silly turnovers, 3-point shooting, and bad playmaking. Just put it this way. Let's just put them all in the blender, and let's just call it for what it is. It's IQ. This is just poor IQ. When you look at it's bad shot selection, it's bad playmaking, the silly turnovers, and then the 3-point shooting, he did get away from that. So I will kind of give him the benefit of the doubt on the 3-point shooting. Even though he was taking some of those shots in the series against the Lakers, which I didn't understand. But I will say that that was probably the one thing that he kind of got away from. But everything else, though, the turnovers have been the same. And I've been saying to myself for the longest, like he has not adjusted his game and has not evolved his game. And he's about to be 13 years in the league. And it's like the way I'm going to remember Westbrook is now, this is now his 3rd team. So, I'm wondering if he's going to kind of become a journeyman, for a superstar at this point in his career, man. Which is
it's unfortunate, man, because he's my favorite player.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I like Russ, man. He plays hard, man. Shout out to Corey, appreciate you in here, man. No doubt. Shout out to my man Ryan, man. No doubt. What's up, bro? Hope everything is good. The NBA is now heavy on Luka Doncic, the face of the. I'm not surprised that Luka could be the future of the league. I'm not surprised. The NBA is really high on him, so I'm not. Trust me, I won't be surprised. I will not be surprised. Shout out to Winetta Thomas, appreciate you. Harden is going to Brooklyn. I think it's possible. I just think that they're trying to. Brooklyn offers the most in terms of what they could get for James Harden. That's what it is. That's why that's really the one team, unless there's a surprise team that could come out of nowhere. But that's just it. I really feel like that's the case. First name, last name says that's why Westbrook playing so hard is overrated to me, man. Defense is a part of the game too. Exactly. You got to play both ends of the court.
Yeah, play both ends.
With his abilities, he should be great. He should be great. I mean, there's no question about that. All right, Jay says, man, the stars that Houston is trading for eventually doesn't want to play with Harden. He doesn't have an accountable mentality. That's my problem with James Harden too. He's another guy that makes excuses. And Russ doesn't want to see the light in his game. It's a fact. I mean,
ego. Yeah.
Alistair says, do you think LeBron could be the GOAT? No. That shit failed already.
Impossible.
People can say what they want. People can say their opinion, but no. LeBron, I'm not gonna get into that. That'll be for another video, and it's gonna be on LeBron and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I gotta get on both of those Bammers in a future video. I'm telling you, I'm coming after both of their necks, man. Coming after both of them dudes. The NBA is in the state that it is in today because of those two guys. It's not even a false myth. It's a fact, and I'll tell you why in a future video. Dallas might get the 6 seed. The unicorn is going to be out for a few months. My thing with the Western Conferences is that when you look at the landscape, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jay, but you trade Russell Westbrook, that's going to eliminate the Houston Rockets at least for now. At least for now, because we don't know what the Houston Rockets are going to be. Now the Mavericks are going to be without Porzingis, and I don't know what that's going to look like for them again. At least for the first couple of months of the season, and it's like, so who are really the West teams that we're looking at? When is the West really as dominant as people are saying it? Because it's kind of starting to get watered down a bit when you really ask me. When I look at some of these legit teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, it's only really like 2 or 3 legitimate teams that have a shot in the West: Lakers, Clippers, and the Nuggets.
Right. For those who are saying that he could be the GOAT, I'm gonna tell you this right now. 2011 eliminated that.
Yeah.
You could think if you want to say that LeBron is the GOAT, you can think that personally. I don't have an issue.
I'm gonna say this name, Jason Terry. That's all I'm gonna say. I rest my case.
No, you got to say another one, JJ Barea. I rest
JJ Barea. Yep.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just the way it is, man.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Okay, shout out to Sly. He says Houston Rockets chemistry could be better without Russ and James. I smell the Rockets becoming the 2019 Clippers, man. All for one and on the rise. The 2019 Clippers. Could the Houston Rockets of 2020-2021 be the 2019 Los Angeles Clippers? I don't know if I can say that. To me, that's still kind of a wait and see. I got to see what Cousins and
I gotta see how that lineup is going to turn up. I don't know, man. Cousins haven't played in 2 years almost. Yeah. John Wall haven't played in 2 years. Like, we don't even know how this team gonna be, man. We don't even know if Harden's gonna stay. Gordon might be gone too.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
Freddie Gee was mentioning Reggie Miller and John Starks. Shout out to Houston Ball 13. Wait, did he just say that James Harden got traded to Philly? Let me find out for sure.
I need to know this. My God.
Let me see this, man. They say within a week. I'd be shocked if James Harden get traded to Philly.
He look like a Philly cat with that beard.
He's trying to say he a black cat, man. He's trying to say a black cat in Philly, bro. Wow. Yo, Jay is something else. I ain't gonna lie though. If you were to draw James Harden as a cartoon, he would look like a cat though. I'm not gonna front. It's because of that. It's because of that beard. His beard look like he got fur on there. So
hell yeah,
that's crazy.
It's like that cat off of Alice in Wonderland.
Check check this out, man. So I was hearing that the Golden State Warriors actually tried to trade Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins at one point for James Harden. I said that trade doesn't make any sense at all, despite the fact that I would get rid of Draymond Green. But what's your thoughts on that, Jay? You think that trade makes any sense?
Hell no, it don't make any sense. Like, why would you do that? Why would you even have an idea to even do something like that? What the hell? Draymond Green is nothing but a system player. He will always be a system guy. Andre Wiggins, he has potential, but my problem with Wiggins, he is too inconsistent. He's just not consistent, man. And sometimes he just act like he doesn't care. Like, he's not even part of the game.
I feel like with him, for some reason, I feel like Andrew Wiggins for me lacks motivation. I don't know what it is, man.
I don't know him, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me see. Let me just look at that. Okay. Oh, Winetta says that the East is looking way better.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the East is starting to look better. Sly says LeBron needed the West to weaken up so he wouldn't have it as hard as it was like how when Kobe played. All right.
Ain't that crazy? When LeBron was in the East was weak. Now LeBron's in the West. It seems like the West is getting weaker. Like, what is this, man? What is LeBron having this effect on the NBA like this?
It's crazy, man. I don't know. The way that I'm looking at it, again, guys, make sure you guys like the video as you guys come in, man. Breaking news again, if you guys don't know, man, Russell Westbrook got traded, is going to the Washington Wizards in exchange for John Wall and a 2023 first-round pick going to the Houston Rockets for Russell Westbrook. And so Corey says, for real, no cap, James got traded. Okay, Poseidon says that everything fails, Rockets will burn everything down. They're going to get Emoni Bates. Oh, okay. Okay. Shout out to Brandon Nicholson in the building. Salute to you, bro. What's going on,
Brandon Nicholson, what's good, boy? Yeah.
That's my boy Brandon, man. That's correct. Yeah. That's my boy Brandon, man. Good brother right there.
Yeah, cool.
Yo, Houston ball 13, man. If that's true, because I'm looking and I don't see anything as of right now, but if that is the case, that would be crazy if Harden goes there. That'd be nuts.
And they still won't do anything.
Yeah, because look who's coaching. Doc Rivers.
Yep. Doc Rivers.
And look,
Glenn Rivers. Yep. He won't get the dot from me.
All I gotta say is 3-1 and 3-2. And I'm saying that's it. That's all you gotta say.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say. Shout out to Sam G. He says that the Wizards, they made a big mistake. In my opinion, they did, because it's like, why would you trade for another max point guard? See, Houston just did it last year and they did it again. Both sides don't make any sense at all, especially because, Westbrook could get the Wizards into the playoffs, but it's not like they're going to win a championship.
They're just going to be a first round exit. Like, who cares?
It's not. Yeah, exactly, Poseidon. If it ain't from Watch or if it ain't from Shams, because Shams is another credible source. If it ain't from one of those two, then it ain't legit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Freddie Gee says that means dudes are running from LeBron. That's like a boxer moving up and down when you step foot in the division. Yeah, all right.
Nobody's running from that scrub, man. Ain't nobody running from LeBron James. Stop it. Get the hell out of here with that. Ain't nobody running from that scrub, man.
Oh man, okay. I needed to laugh for a moment. All right.
That scrub from Akron, man. Ain't nobody running from him.
Oh boy. It's all good, man. That's funny. All right. What do we call it? Okay. Ryan says, Lewis, do you think Giannis is playing mind games with the media, saying what he said about not caring about me and number one, number two, or third option, and said that he doesn't mind playing with LeBron and AD? It's funny because I was originally supposed to make that video, but I had to change it when I saw this Russell Westbrook and James Harden trade. But that's originally what I was supposed to talk about, because originally Giannis Antetokounmpo came out and he said, according to him, he was playing with the media, basically saying that I don't mind being the second or third option, and that I wouldn't mind playing for LeBron and LeBron and AD. But then he said that he wants LeBron and AD to come to Milwaukee. Giannis, let me tell you something, bro. Them two dudes ain't coming to Milwaukee, bro. No, why do you think the media is trying to push you out of Milwaukee? Why do you think the media is trying to push you out of Milwaukee? Why do you think they're trying to push you out of Milwaukee?
Man, this NBA is so weak, man.
But this is why I also said that the NBA is a double standard, man. Because look, Kevin Durant just left to Brooklyn. The media is going all over Kevin Durant, saying that he's recruiting James Harden. And a lot of dudes were saying, yo, if Kevin Durant recruits James Harden and gets him on the Nets, then I'm done. And I said the only way that James Harden possibly goes on, I think, is if they trade Kyrie Irving, because he's going to have to be part of that deal. I don't see how Brooklyn could keep all three together. All I see is chemistry problems if James Harden comes on that team and Kyrie's there. I just don't see it. So Kyrie's going to have to be part of that deal if they're going to trade with the Houston Rockets. That's the only way I see it. But getting back to the point, they were saying that, if Kevin Durant recruits James Harden, I'm done with the NBA, because now you're going to have 3 All-Stars on one team and then KD's making another super team. So then the question I'm having is, why are people tampering with the fact that Giannis could be a Los Angeles Laker? Because remember, Anthony Davis has not signed his extension yet. He hasn't requested an extension. He hasn't signed a new deal. Why he hasn't done that?
Well, LeBron did.
Yeah, that's right. He got $85 million, man. This dude making $44 million a season.
That's crazy, man.
Is it a straight 2-year deal, or is it a one?
No, it's a straight 2-year. It's a straight 2-year extension.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm guessing that his 4-year deal that he signed was a player option after year 2. Oh, okay.
Right.
2 years. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, damn. That's crazy, man. LeBron making more money, man.
The rich get richer. Yep.
The rich stay getting richer, man.
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit? I know you were making a video for that. I just don't know if you touched on that topic or not. No, I didn't touch up on it, but I wanted to do that. But I just said when I saw that deal, I was like, I was like, yo, this. I was just laughing my ass off when I saw this. Because I'm like, yo, this is why both of these organizations are in the way that they're in. Even though Houston's made the playoffs more consistently than the Wizards, that's why, because they just keep making it. I don't see the Harden trade anywhere. It makes no sense now after trading Westbrook. And I don't know. I don't think Harden is going to win with John Wall, and I don't think he's going to win with DeMarcus Cousins. And it's like I said before, I don't know what kind of style of play they're going to play with Steven Silas as the coach. Is Harden going to get the same touches, or is Harden going to be running really more? I said Harden. Is John Wall going to be running more of the show? I don't know what those two are going to look like, and I don't even know what the rest of the roster is going to look like too. So they got a lot. The Houston Rockets got a lot of question marks. So it would surprise me if the Rockets were somehow surprise everybody, play as well, and then they make the playoffs because they were just a playoff team. I see when I look at this Western Conference, I don't really know who, other than the Lakers and the Clippers and the Nuggets. You look at everybody else because you saw what happened with the Thunder. We might see the rise in the Phoenix Suns. The Dallas Mavericks have Kristaps Porzingis injured. We don't know if the Pelicans are going to take that next step. So it's like there's a lot of question marks right now with a lot of these teams in the Western Conference. Maybe Portland, but you know how I feel about Portland. But that's
they going nowhere. The Portland Trailblazers going nowhere.
So that's what it is, man. Like I just don't see it, man. I don't see the Harden trade anywhere. Makes no sense right now after trading Westbrook. Okay, LeBron, his glow says, Jay, if he's a scrub, then how come he's in your top 5? Jay, you want to answer that? You want to answer that?
Man, I answer it. Like I said, he is a scrub, man. I don't care. He is in my top 5, man, because I'm just not going to just shit on him like, you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people do. Like, he is a great player. I give him that. You know what I'm saying? He has 4 MVPs. He won 4 championships. You know what I'm saying? He done a lot for the game of basketball. I personally don't like him, though. So I can say whatever I want to say. This is a free country. I can say what I want to say. But, yeah, I do have him in my top 5, but he will never be the GOAT. He will never, ever be the GOAT.
Oh, man. Got you. All right, man. NBA players nowadays scared of LeBron. Oh, no, you're right. You know why, Poseidon, you're right about that? Because
it's a weak-ass NBA.
Because Paul Pierce came out and said that, and a lot of people can't stand Paul Pierce, especially the ones that love Bronson. And what I mean is, I'm talking about the fanboys, the ones that love LeBron like that much. I'm basically saying that Paul Pierce has said about that, and Poseidon is touching up on it right now. These players are soft. If LeBron is in the 90s,
soft as hell.
Held in check.
Go against them bad boy Pistons, man. That dude wouldn't even laugh.
I'm done talking about Bron tonight. All right, Sly says, remember, Clutch Sports manipulates the conferences. And the L has moved stars the opposite conference of LeBron since almost day one, man. It's the finals narrative. Well, I mean, it goes kind of deeper than that, but
yeah.
All right, let me just go. Also, Giannis said he wouldn't have been playing with KD too. Yeah, he did say that. Leo says, sleeper take, Kemba Walker will have a bounce back season and be a top 5 point guard again.
Negative.
I know Kemba Walker is going to be out with a knee injury. I think he's going to miss the first month of the season from what I'm hearing. So I don't know.
I don't think he was ever a top 5 point guard, though.
I'll say top 10. I won't say
top 10. Yeah,
top
he was a top 10.
Not
no top 5. No.
Kemba's gonna have to really. Here's my thing though. He came into a better team than the Boston Celtics, but he didn't really stand out to me as like one of the top.
Sure didn't.
He's a very good point guard, man. And listen, he's from my town, BX. Represent.
Yeah.
I love Kemba. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he stands out. I feel like he's one of those he's one of those guys that that plays well, but he plays well, but it kind of goes unnoticed. And if you look at Boston, the talk is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They're not really talking about Kemba like that, despite the fact that he's playing for Boston. So Kemba's gonna have to stand out. And remember, when they traded him for Kyrie Irving, as part of that deal, 3-team deal, it was more so Kemba's the better fit compared to Kyrie Irving. And right now, that's what Kemba is right now. He's a fit.
Yeah.
Right, but he's not to me, he's not
impactful though. He's not an impactful player.
Yeah, and that's my thing. He's one of the best point guards in the game, but I don't see it from an impact perspective. Like the team is really more, he to me complements what Tatum and Brown are doing, but it's really not more so in terms of impact. It's not saying that he can't, but if he can, he's gonna have to really stand out to show that he's a top 5 point guard. But I think he's top 10, but I don't think he's top 5 though.
All right.
Shout out to G Money, man. Salute to you. Sly says, too many fanboy, child-hearted players these days. That's a fact. Legends took their idols out in cold blood, and respect was earned. Right. This man, LeBron, makes more money in a day than me in a year. I mean, that just lets you know right there, man. If the Lakers pull off this Giannis move, oh boy. Oh no, it's over for the NBA. If they get Giannis Antetokounmpo, it's so. Yeah, the crazy part is that allows LeBron to play longer. That's number one. Number two, Giannis doesn't really have to have the ball in his hands. He could be in post-ups. He doesn't really have to drop to the basket like that unless it's just him on the floor.
But it also hurts LeBron. It also hurts LeBron's legacy in a way too.
No, yeah, because then what they're gonna say is that, well, you got Giannis. Isn't Giannis the back-to-back MVP and he just won the Defensive Player of the Year award and he's made multiple-time All-Stars? You're playing with another top 5 player.
That's what I said. I said this a long time ago. I said this about LeBron. He's the only superstar in NBA history that requires so much help. I have never seen another superstar require so much help other than LeBron. It's crazy.
Freddie D says, I like the trade for both sides. The NBA season is going to be super interesting. Yeah, a lot of storylines we got going on this season, man. Jay, what jersey? LeBron wants to know, what jersey are you wearing? It looks like a Knicks jersey.
It's a Knicks jersey. It's Charles Oakley. Yeah.
Charles Oakley. Much respect to Charles Oakley.
Yeah.
Much respect to Charles Oakley. Yeah, Freddie G. Yep, Giannis, it's possible. The Lakers are trying to get him, and I know it's quality. Trust me. I know they're trying to get him on the low. Trust me. Shout out to AJ Marshall. He says, which new duo would have good success, Beal and Westbrook or Harden and Wall? Well, here's the thing. If Harden, he said, let me make it clear, not a duo. When fully healthy, I might have to actually go with Harden and Wall. Only because at least John Wall is like he's more of a pure point guard. So he's more of a distributor. He could push him, obviously like Russ, he could push in the transition, but he's looking to pass first more than score. He can score, don't get me wrong, he can score. Yeah, but he's looking to pass first. Fully healthy, I think Harden and Wall, but to be honest, I'm with Jay. It's really neither, honestly. Like they'll be those are two great scoring duos, but when it comes to impact and winning, I can't say that, man. I honestly can't.
Let me ask you this, Lewis. Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Say, for instance, John Wall comes back fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? No issues at all. And what if he just put up some stat lines like this? He averaged like 17 points per game, but he'll average like 14 assists. Would that impact the Rockets for being like a serious contender? If Harden's still there.
Depends on who they have on their roster. That's the only way that I can say if it's gonna make them a contender or not. Are they gonna play the level of defense that's required to play? And it's like I said before, is John Wall going to be able to shoot the basketball in the playoffs, which he has not shown that he's capable of doing? He's been inconsistent with that. And again, are the Rockets going to have the 3-point shooting? And if they don't, it's like I said before, even if they shoot the amount of threes that they shoot in attempts or whatever, which I don't think is going to happen now with Steven Silas. I doubt that unless if he adjusts and let them play. Even if you have a 3-point shooting team, I mean, you saw the Golden State Warriors. There's a reason they got Kevin Durant. What can Kevin Durant do? He could go get a mid-range bucket. He can pull up from anywhere, but in the mid-range, on a team that shoots threes, when they take away the threes, you need that mid-range shot, man. Whether it's on a pull-up, whether it's on the post, whether it's at the top of the key, left elbow, right elbow, post up, don't matter.
Yeah.
You need that guy that can get you a mid-range bucket anytime to help your team in case if it goes on a drought from the three-point line. You need it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Rockets have that. Can they find that? I don't know. So, like I said, it's going to depend on the roster it looks like. So, John Walker put up the impressive numbers all he wants, but is it going to have impact? We got to wait and see. We got to wait what that roster looks like. But that was a good question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ron says, I know Danny Ainge didn't want him when he was coming into his prime, but what do you think? Are you talking about with Giannis? Are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. I don't understand the question. Yeah.
Not sure. Poseidon says, if Kemba struggles against Lowry, he'll never be a top 5 point guard again. Not only was Kemba injured, he didn't play great defense on Kyle Lowry, and Kyle Lowry,
he got exposed, man.
Kyle Lowry is more. Even though Kyle Lowry shows inconsistencies, though, the difference now compared to a couple of years ago, Kyle Lowry is actually willing to live with the result, and he's more confident in himself compared to what he was a couple of years ago. So, and I respect him on that. Rio says, did you guys watch the road tripping episode with LeBron James and Richard and Channing? I didn't see it. I didn't see it, but I did see a small clip where he was talking about Marc Gasol, which the Lakers just acquired, y'all. And he was just like, I'm happy that Marc is here, but just to let y'all know, he got my Defensive Player of the Year. When I heard him say that, here's my problem with LeBron saying that. If you felt that you got robbed of Defensive Player of the Year, why didn't you come out and have a beast season defensively the following season? That's the issue I'm having with LeBron. So when you say something like that, it's like, I feel like you're just saying things for attention. You could have First of all, this is what gets me mad about LeBron. As great of a defender as he was at his peak when he was with the Miami Heat, and he could have been just as good if he had continued to play defense throughout those years.
Yeah.
I said this time and time again. As great as LeBron is, he quit playing defense in his prime, and the reason being was because he didn't get that Defensive Player of the Year award. This is the way it works. If you want to ask yourself, why did Marc Gasol get second-team All-Defense but got Defensive Player of the Year award, and that was the same thing with Tyson Chandler, the way it works is the voting system. The voting system is different with all NBA teams compared to all defensive teams and who wins the Defensive Player of the Year award. It's all different. It's not the same. I think if it was more consistent and the same, then I think that possibly Marc Gasol wins the award if he was on first team. But it's inconsistent because the voters are different. It's not and the voting process is a lot different. That's why. So I understand what LeBron is saying. Like, well, if you win Defensive Player of the Year, but you make second team All NBA, second team defense, that's like winning the MVP, and you make second team All NBA. So I understand that. But my point is, what helped Marc Gasol was the advanced analytics. That's what helped him out. But like I said, there's different voters. That's the problem. There's different voters. Even though LeBron's numbers were similar to Marc Gasol, but Marc Gasol did anchor the number one defense that year. But again, people could take it with a grain of salt or whatever. People could argue that was LeBron's award or whatever, but that's why Marc Gasol won it. I'm just explaining it. The issue I got is, why do you come and say that when you chose not to defend the very next season? You went from first team to second team all defense. That's number one. And then after that, you haven't made another defensive team since then. And when you made second team all defense, you was 29 years old. I'm gonna repeat myself. LeBron James was 29 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He stopped playing defense after 2014. Stopped playing defense on 2014. And it started in the NBA Finals of 2014 against San Antonio. And it trickled down all the way. After that, LeBron was coasting through the regular season because the teams that he was on in Cleveland were talented, so he knew he didn't have to sweat. There was no real threat in the Eastern Conference. None. It does not matter. None. That's why. So when I hear LeBron say that, if you want to prove you're the best player in the game, which I said LeBron was the best player in the game at that time, why don't you go out and prove that belonged to you? Go be a beast defensively. Show them that not only could you be the best offensive player, you could be the best defensive player on the floor. That's all you have to do. But he chose not to do that. Okay? It's his choice. But don't come out saying that he got your award. You should have went out and proved it. Simple as that.
Also, not to cut you off, Lou, but
Nope.
Also, I thought in order for you to be the GOAT, you have to do it on both ends of the floor. LeBron don't do that. He doesn't do it on both ends of the floor, not on a consistent basis, not on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Jordan always did that ever since he entered the league.
Like that's my thing, man. And it's like, yo, like he's great. Like I said, he's a great individual player, man. I got him 6th on my all-time list after winning the NBA championship. He's 6th all time. That's what, and that's my thing. If I have LeBron in the top 10, I said that the proper way to mark him is 6 to 10. In my personal opinion, I don't think he's a top 5 player, but I do see him as a top 10 player. I got him number 6 all time. Some people have moved him up to the top 5. Some people already had him there. Some people had him at number 3, 2, or 1, whatever. But my bottom line is this: 2011 will not ever erase from the fact that eliminated you from GOAT status, no matter what people want to say. You cannot get outplayed by 2 point guards off the bench and then tell me that he's the greatest of all time. And don't tell me
8 points in the NBA Finals, man. That's crazy.
And here's my thing. It's not that you can't have a bad series, but it was the way you played. You played like you didn't even care. You played like you didn't care about those NBA Finals. That's the thing with LeBron. It's not the fact that he can't have a bad series. If LeBron went out trying, I would have respected him despite the fact that he played poorly. And I would have been like, okay, he had a bad series. But come on, man. First of all, you're with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You were heavily favored against the Dallas Mavericks. Don't give me the stuff about they swept Kobe Bryant and this is.
I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it.
That doesn't matter when we're talking about the NBA Finals. You should have won the series and you ain't get the job done. That's it.
They should have won that easily too, man. They had no business being on the court with them, man.
Dallas is a good team, but I'm telling you right now, they could not deal with that young athleticism of Bosh, Wade, and LeBron. I'm sorry. They just did not get the job done. There's no excuses. I still see some Bron fans still trying to make excuses about that.
Right. They act like that didn't exist. It's in the history books. You have to do it. You have to deal with your player, your guy that y'all love.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. It just can't, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. It just doesn't work that way. No way. No way. That's just not gonna work. G Money says, I don't respect opinions of most of the media because they are they are biased, and most of the media don't watch the game to just make narratives. Just look at Nick Wright. He literally came out and was like, well, if you eliminate 2011, which was LeBron's worst finals, he's had the greatest 8-year stretch of any player in NBA history, makes him the GOAT. And I said, this is why LeBron gets a lot of hate. Oh my God. Because the media likes to spread a lot of these lies, man. That's the problem. Why does Bron get hate? Because then Bron comes out and like Marc Gasol got my Defensive Player of the Year award. Oh, Lewis, you're taking it too serious, man. He just playing. Bruh, Marc Gasol is on your team. You should be happy. Why are you mentioning about that? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
He is a true narcissist, man. I hate the guy, man, personally.
Yeah. See, my thing is that it's one thing if you have confidence, and it's another thing to be humble. As great as LeBron is, he doesn't show humility, in my opinion. And the thing is, every time I hear these speeches that he talks about, he regurgitates the same damn thing. I'm a kid from Akron, Ohio. If you're all that, why did you leave your team more than once?
Oh my God!
It just doesn't make any. You can't be claiming that you're true because I've seen you support other teams. So I'm like, who are you repping here? So it's like now I'm like, are you from Akron or are you from City Unknown? I don't know. I don't get it. G Money says, Jay says, G Money, your top players got 9 players, 9 players on it. So okay, he got Bron at 8 in my top 10. If he wins another ring, he'll be in my top 5. You shouldn't use the word hate. Sorry, it's not. Look, first of all, people say they hate Jordan. People say they hate Kobe. So why can't
it's a freedom of speech. I should be able to say whatever I want to say.
People are gonna say what they feel at the end of the day.
Right.
That doesn't offend me. Like I said, your list is your list.
Yep.
Lewis, do you remember 2K11 NBA Jordan commercials? And he said that if he picked 4 players to play with, he would choose Pitt, Magic, himself, Hakeem, and Worthy, and he would never lose. Yeah, I remember that. he's been consistent with that. There was another 2K11 commercial where he actually talked about the impact of Hakeem Olajuwon and talked about how great he was and how much respect Jordan gave Hakeem.
Yeah.
What's unfortunate about Hakeem, I feel like he was so dominant, and he was, in my opinion, he's the greatest skilled center of all time. It's just, to me, he didn't have enough peak years. That's why he doesn't get mentioned enough. That's why. But and the thing is, he was impactful, but it was very, very, very tiny. And some people will say he was impactful when Jordan left. So they were like, we don't know if there's a sample size to where they're like, well, if he did it during Jordan's time and he had like beat Jordan, then it would hold more merit. But they felt like he didn't. Like I said, Hakeem is underrated.
He came out of nowhere since when Jordan retired. He just came out the sky blue like, dang, Hakeem doing this, man, he going crazy out here.
Yeah, because if you look at that '94 season, Hakeem won Defensive Player of the Year. He won MVP, and he was the first player to win both those awards, and he won Finals MVP. To this day, he's the only player to win Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, and regular season MVP in the same season. He's the only player to do that. No other player.
That's crazy. Yeah,
and he did that without an All-Star on the '94 Rocky team.
Right, and he did that with Kenny Smith. Keep that in mind too.
Kenny Smith, who comes out here to claim that he's some top player because he won 2 championships every time talking about Hakeem. Dude, you had your little 17, 18 points per game with Sacramento. I get it, Kenny. But sorry, man.
Oh, man. Luke, no, stop it, man.
Kenny Smith is such a talking head, man. Okay, G Money says my top 10 is MJ, Kareem, Wilt, Kobe, Magic, Bird, Duncan, Bron, Shaq, and Hakeem. I have 10 players on my list. I don't know what Jay is talking about. on your original list, you didn't put Bron on there. I think that's what he was talking about when you put it. I would think they would bring up that to decline Jordan as the GOAT. Of course, they're trying to diminish what MJ accomplished. So
right.
Because of Bill Laimbeer telling Isaiah Thomas to not shake hands with the Bulls, it caused a beef between Thomas and Jordan. No, that beef goes beyond that.
That beef, hey, man, come on. It's deeper than that, bro. I know this for a fact. Yeah, it's deeper than that. You have no idea.
Yup, Jay be the first to tell you, man. He be the first to tell you. It's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, it's way deeper.
All right, guys. Once again, man, continue to like the video as you guys come in. Make sure to share on social media platforms. Again, coming in, man. Russell Westbrook, man, traded to the Washington Wizards for John Wall. Oh yeah, see, G Money knows it now. See, he says, "Whoops, my fault." See, there you go. I mean, it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all right. We make mistakes, man. So it's all good, man.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. No, we're not perfect. But yeah, Poseidon, there it goes a lot deeper than that, man. This stuff stems from Bobby Knight. That's how deep it goes.
Yeah, it's way deep, man. Deeper than what you think, bro.
If LeBron was 10 for 10 in the finals, he's your GOAT. And why are we talking about LeBron? I don't know, because people were mentioning him in the comments, so I had to figure we got to talk about him. So that's what it is.
Somebody's getting butt hurt over here.
My point of the Jordan was supposed to be all in one, but it's separated, so it might not make sense to you as you're reading it in the chunks. Oh, I see. All right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What's up, Ryan?
What's good, man?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. G Money says, I say 2014 and 2017. I understand that the Warriors and Spurs were great, but Bron did have nice teams with the Heat and the Cavs. Look, I'm coming out with another video, and it's going to talk about Bron's first stint in Cleveland. And I have to focus on 2 years in particular. 2007 against San Antonio and 2008 against the Boston Celtics. There's been a lot of lies that I've been hearing recently, and I've done my research on this. I look back at the games. I watched all 7 games. I looked at all the stats. There's going to be some things that you're going to be really surprised at what you see. That's going to really tell you, was this guy really some underdog, or was it that he had opportunities and just couldn't get it done? You're gonna hear that. And I said this before. LeBron did not have a second star in Cleveland, so I get all that. But like I said, I'll leave that for another time. I'll put that in another video. So, but getting back on this trade. Well, the Washington Wizards, congratulations. We got a Westbrook and Scott Brooks reunion, but Russ is going to get all the minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're Bradley Beal, Jay, where would you want to get traded to, or does it matter in your opinion where would Bradley Beal get traded to? Or if there's a team out there that you could see Bradley Beal getting traded to, where Bradley Beal could contend for at least maybe a chance at a conference championship or probably a contender for an NBA championship, where would that be in your opinion? If he could find a spot, if the Wizards could find a spot.
If I'm Bradley Beal, man, I'm looking at the Miami Heat, man. I'm looking at the Heat. I'm looking at Miami in particular. Or I could be like, let's go to State because Klay Thompson is gone for a year. Try that out and see what happens there. Yeah, send him to Golden State. See if he can go to Golden State. Hey,
okay.
Him and Curry. Woo.
Quick question though, if that's right because Klay Thompson got injured, I think the Warriors got about close to $10 million in exception money due to his injury. So
yep.
If they were to get Bradley Beal, you put him with Steph Curry. If they could keep Andrew Wiggins somehow, I don't know if he's going to be part of that deal. They decide to trade him. He might be part of that deal. I mean, they do have James Wiseman, so got to see how that works out. They do have Eric Pascal. People are forgetting about Eric Pascal. He's
a beast, man. Yeah, I like him.
The funny thing is, I think he can replace what Draymond Green does because he's a better offensive player.
He's better than Draymond Green to me.
And he can, and the thing is, he can honestly work on his defense because I think that honestly, he doesn't even have to be the greatest. He could be just a good, solid defender. You put him with that, and with that offensive game that he has, I think you really wouldn't miss Draymond Green like people are kind of making it out to be because Draymond's not an offensive player, and
he's not.
He's really not. He can put the ball on the floor. He's a good passer for his size.
I mean, you'll miss his leadership. He's a very vocal person. You'll miss that in the locker room and all that, man. But as far as the actual game, his offensive game, you won't miss that. I mean, you could teach Pascal how to defend. That's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? You could teach defense. Like, yeah.
But that's crazy though, because now if Bradley Beal, if the Warriors were to look at him, and it's crazy, man, and I look at a healthy Klay Thompson, that's a three-headed monster right there. You got Curry, Beal, and then Klay Thompson playing the three.
Yeah, that's nasty. Yeah.
I mean, especially in that system, Bradley Beal will thrive in that system with Steve Kerr.
He will thrive. All his shots will be open. It'd be like Ray Allen all over again, man.
That's crazy, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know how anybody can beat him, man.
Okay, so G Money says something right here, man. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Ryan. He says he would want Bradley Beal to go to the Clippers. What's your thoughts on that with that pairing with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? But here's the problem, though.
That's not gonna work there, man.
It's not gonna work there because Paul George already plays a three.
Yeah.
So where's Bradley Beal gonna fit? The only way I can see it is if the Clippers go small. Here's the problem: the Clippers, they need a playmaker, so they don't have that.
Yeah, they don't have it.
So I don't see Bradley Beal fitting unless Paul George goes. So that's the only way I can see that happening. And y'all already know how I feel about Way Off P. He came out today on All the Smoke and he threw Doc Rivers under the bus. He was basically saying that he basically Paul George out of his mouth said that Doc Rivers had him playing the J.J. Redick role or having him try to be a Ray Allen coming off of pin downs, and he said I could do that, but that's not my game. Now I agree with him that they didn't make any adjustments, but Paul George, historically, you've been known to the last couple of seasons. Now Kawhi Leonard, he had a bad game. I'm not excusing him of any sorts. Anyway, he had a bad game. He didn't play well.
Yeah, he had a bad series. Yeah.
Well, actually, Kawhi had a good series. He just had one bad game against the Nuggets. He had a good series, but one bad game. Paul George, you were not great in the entire playoffs. It's like you show up every once in a while. So for you to come out and be talking, and here's another problem that he's got. He was talking about his shoulder surgery and how they didn't have any continuity. I get all that. So to a certain extent, you're right. I blame Doc Rivers for not trying to get you guys acclimated. He really didn't have a defined role for you. He tried to make you and Kawhi Leonard more than what you were, which I agree with that. Doc Rivers should be called Mr. 3132 because that's all those are the leads that he blows. So he's 3132. That's his new address. So if you want to find Doc Rivers, you go to 3132 Philly Drive. That's where he at, all right? So there's that. Low key, Adam Silver did the Nuggets versus Clippers on person. And I think you're talking about the Christmas matchup. I mean, the Clippers needed more just for psychologically because they blew a 3-1 lead, so they needed more. The Nets and the Celtics on Christmas. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun matchup. Kyrie going up against his former team. I got the Nuggets beating the Grinch that stole Christmas and ruining playoff PP and Leonard Skinner on Christmas. Oh, Leonard Skinner. Wow.
Leonard Skinner. Wow.
Playoff PP. Wow. That's a new one.
Wow.
I mean, the Christmas game ain't really like I said, that's gonna mean it's gonna mean more for the Clippers, more so psychologically. Again, you gotta do it in the playoffs, but again, sometimes people too much stock in the regular season sometimes. Winetta says Bradley Beal played for Florida college team, so I can see him going to the Heat. I would love for him to go to Miami Heat. Him, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo.
That's what I said. Miami or the Golden State Warriors. That's my two. I'll be the two teams I'll be looking at if I was Bradley Beal. Yeah.
Right. Bradley Beal has a relationship with Alonzo Mourning. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. That's a good point. What's worse, to blow a 2-1 lead or a 3-2 lead? I would go for a 3-2 lead. Well, first of all, it depends. It depends on the series because if you blow a 2-1 lead in the NBA Finals when you're the favorite, it's still bad. Even though you got to win, you got to win 4 games. It's still bad either way, honestly, because you were up in the series.
Right.
But sometimes they're always going to say, well, meets the eye test. Did you really have control of the series? It depends. Depends on who's playing. The Clippers were the better team on paper. The problem is Paul George is making excuses. We'll win the next one after every loss. And then Game 7 came up, and I was like, I knew Paul George was going to come small. I just stuck with my pick, but, he came up small. Jay says Kawhi would have to play LeBron's role on offense. Bradley Beal's at shooting guard. Paul George at small forward if he wasn't traded for Bradley Beal. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I don't see Kawhi as a playmaker, and they kind of proved it.
That's not Kawhi's game, though. Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard played best with a guy like Kyle Lowry. He needs that type of player to be even that effective. Kawhi's still going to do his thing because he did that. Like I said, he had one bad game.
Yeah.
Kawhi to me just didn't look like defensively more than offense.
For Bradley Beal to work in the Clippers, for Bradley Beal to work for the Clippers, Boy George would have to be like a Scottie Pippen. He would have to be the ball handler, distribute the ball, playmate for the guys. Kawhi would be your Michael Jordan. And Bradley Beal would just be like your Ray Allen, man, coming off them screens and stuff like that. There you go.
So in your opinion, Jay, you saying for this to work, you think Paul George is the one who should have the ball in his hands doing more of the playmaking.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard could be the MJ playing the 2 guard spot.
The closer. Yep.
The 3.
Yep.
I didn't think about that. You know what? If Paul George is willing to accept that role, if Paul George is willing to do that, because remember he said that he didn't like the pull pin downs. He could do that, but it's not his game. So Jay just made a suggestion. Paul George, why don't you be the point guard for the Clippers? You could be the player.
He got ball handling skills. He can handle the rock, man. I seen it. All them years in Indiana, man. I know what he can do, man. I never discredit his talents. I know what Paul George can do. He just gotta go out there and do it, man.
Paul George needs to stop going after these Instagram thotties. That's what he needs to stop doing.
Yeah, right. And just focus on the game of basketball that you love, man. You put your heart and soul into it. Just do it.
I mean, I heard that he was trying to shoot his shot with an MMA star from the UFC while he was injured with his shoulder, and I'm like, yo, aren't you about to
Wow.
get your ride or die chick? Don't you got a daughter?
Yeah.
He's still trying to shoot your shot with other chicks on Instagram. They just tell me he ain't focused, bro.
Yeah.
Paul George is another cat who doesn't have humility, and that dude ain't focused. But you out here complaining about, oh, I didn't have the team to be LeBron James, man. I finally got the team with Kawhi and the Clippers and them done, and you come off and do your playoff PPBS, again in the playoffs. You lack focus, bro. That's all that tells me. And then you throw Doc Rivers under the bus. Don't think I know about that situation with Steph Curry's wife, Callie Rivers. That's the reason that Doc got their issues. I guess that's why he way off. That's another reason they call him way off people. I ain't gonna get into that, man.
I ain't either. Ain't none of my business.
Hey, yo, shout out to Tyree, man. Appreciate you, man. $24.99 donation, man. I truly appreciate that. Thank you, my brother, man. And next time when you want to get on, if you're here on the show, man, make sure to pull up, man. I definitely dropped that link for you so you get a chance to speak, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Blessings to you. And again, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, man, like I was saying before, man, okay. Jay says, nah, PG's a better spotter shooter than Kawhi. I disagree with that one. I think Paul George is more effective with the ball in his hands. That's just my personal opinion. And he also says that his decision-making isn't on Kawhi's level, and Kawhi's decision-making needs help too. Well, which is why I said that I don't think Kawhi should even be touching that basketball in terms of unless he's getting.
Yeah, Kawhi, that was never his game. That was never his game. To be the playmaker, that's not his game. That never was his game. I would think that was more of a Paul George than a Kawhi. Because Kawhi, man, he kind of reminds me of Michael Jordan, that guy that you want the ball in his hand during the closing minutes. He's like a closer. You want Paul George with the ball in his hand to distribute, to be the playmaker.
Right, and
he did that in Indiana too.
Yeah, Steph Curry was dogging PG in the Clippers Dallas series. Yeah, he was. He was. He definitely was. The thing is, man, what's your assessment on the LA Clippers, man? Like, what are your expectations for this team coming into this season now? Now that they're gonna have a healthy Paul George entering the season. I know they got issues with their playmaking point guard, man, but like, what's your assessments on the Clippers, man? Like, how do you see this thing turning out for them this year?
First of all, they have to stay healthy. That's the number one thing. That's the key of it all right there. They have to stay healthy. Kawhi has to stay healthy. Paul George have to stay healthy. They main key guys gonna have to stay healthy. All right. And then the next thing is Kawhi, he's going to have to be more of a Michael Jordan. I would like to see more of that from him. Paul George, we already know what you can do. Leave that Instagram, leave that all that bullshit, social media, leave that behind and just focus on you, man, because I know you that dude for real. But you're going to have to show the world that you are that guy. And if you can do that, I think the Clippers will be a problem.
I also got to say, I wonder how Ty Lue's going to coach this team, because you no longer have to be assistant coach. You're now the head coach. So now you're gonna have to prove that you're a real head coach, or are you going to be known as an assistant coach? And I'm wondering what kind of system is he going to run. Most importantly, though, the Clippers need to get their defensive identity down pat, because I feel like that to me should have been their calling card all along. And Doc Rivers thinks he's Phil Jackson. He just kind of let them do whatever he thought they could figure it out. And I was like, yo, I said the type of personalities that they had, they needed structure. They needed structure. Clay Process, who's Playoff P? I don't know, never heard of him.
You know who could be a good coach for this Clippers team? I hate to say his name, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy. Well, he's with the Pelicans now, but Stan Van Gundy. Who do you think he would benefit the most in terms of who would benefit from his coaching though? Mostly, I feel like. Well, actually, you know what? If Montrezl was there, I think he'd be good with him. If you look at Lou Will, Pat Bev, he'd be good with those guys.
Yeah.
The only question is Stan going to be able to win in the playoffs? That's the thing. I know he came close with Miami when he was with Shaq and D Wade in 2005, but that was the closest he got. So so then there's that. But yeah, man. G Money says the Clips could make the second round, but unless they get accountability and find a playmaker, I don't see them going to the NBA Finals. Well, they better hope they don't play the Nuggets again. Because the thing is, when you look at the rest of this Western Conference, there's a lot of what ifs on a lot. There's a lot of question marks.
It is. It's wide open. Yeah.
Like, and shout out to Clay Pro, man. What's good with you, man? Hope everything is good with you. G Money says, I think PG was up and down on both sides of the ball in the playoffs, and he got burned. Yeah, PG's mind was elsewhere. It was elsewhere.
Yeah.
Tyrese says,
he wasn't focused, obviously.
I think Tom Thibodeau will be better for the Clippers. I would say defensively, offensively, no, he's going to need.
Of course, yeah.
I just question the amount of minutes, especially because your boy Kawhi is on load management, so he can't play 39 minutes or something in the regular season because you're going to burn him out. What is Kawhi going to have left by the time the playoffs start?
All right.
Look what happened to Derrick Rose. People just say, oh, Derrick Rose was careless. No, it wasn't just that Derrick Rose was careless. Look what happened to Joakim Noah. Look what happened to Carlos Boozer. All those dudes play so many minutes with Tom Thibodeau.
You know why? Tim Thibodeau, yep. That coach right there cost D Rose his career, man.
It's true. It's a fact. It's not just the fact that D Rose was reckless. It's the fact that Tom Thibodeau cost him his career because there were times where Derrick Rose had no business being in the basketball game, and Tom Thibodeau still let him play those minutes when he didn't need to.
Just like in that Philadelphia series, like, why you have him in there? Y'all up by like 30. Why is he even in the game, man? Like, come on, man.
And then what happens? He tears his ACL, and we don't ever know what happens to the 2012 Bulls if they, make they get another crack at the Heat for the Eastern Cup. We won't ever know. Rose ends up injuring himself, and he was never the same player after that.
I thought that was their year too. I thought they was gonna win it all that year too, man.
They were and once again, they were the number one defense, man.
Yeah.
And what Jay says, Tim's ain't dealing with Kawhi's low crap, so there's gonna be a problem. That's low management Leonard. Yep. Hate to say it, man. Kawhi's my favorite player, but I gotta call it like it is. So shout out to Clay Pro for that for the name.
But let me say this right quick before you move on, Lou. All right, it's a problem with Kawhi. It's a problem with Kawhi's doing his low management, but y'all wasn't saying that when Tim Duncan was doing it. Why was y'all saying this shit when Tim Duncan was doing it? He was doing the exact same thing for all those years.
You know what it is? I can answer that real easy. Kawhi Leonard won a championship with the Toronto Raptors, right? Here's another thing. He got traded from San Antonio to Toronto. Reason being is because Toronto knew what they got with Kawhi Leonard after they saw what he was doing up in San Antonio. And even though things didn't end up right, guess what? Toronto knew that they didn't want to mess this up to try to look at it to see if Kawhi was if Kawhi was looking at to leave. So they knew they had to kind of cater to his needs. His Uncle Dennis was doing all the damn talking. So I told you, this is why Skip Bayless called Kawhi Leonard Kaiser Sose. That's why I called him Kaiser Sose.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he's low key. That's why I called him Kaiser Sose. And you see what Kawhi did, because Kawhi wanted to play with the Lakers, but he ended up getting traded to the Raptors. So that's why Kawhi doesn't get killed for it, because also he helped them win a championship. So that's why the excuses are there. He missed 22 games for the Raptors, and the thing is also they didn't miss a beat because how deep their team was. So, and with Tim Duncan sacrificed. He sacrificed. That's what it was, because he's known as a leader. They didn't make a big deal out of it. That's why Pop did his thing, and everybody's like, well, it's Popovich. That's what it is.
Oh, so also, did you ever hear reports that Duncan didn't want Tony Parker on the team?
Oh, I was actually gonna do a video on that. I heard that. I just read the article. There was an article basically saying that Tim Duncan was not fond of Tony Parker because he felt that the Spurs could not win a championship with a European point guard.
Wow.
That's what Tim Duncan. That was Tony Parker's book. I think is supposed to be coming out next week, and he talks about his entire career from the time he got drafted to his time with the Spurs to a lot of personal things that are going on, and then what's he doing in France? Because right now he's the French president ambassador over there in France.
Okay.
And I think he also works with FIBA. So So Tony was basically saying that Tim, was not fond of him when he first came in because he felt like he couldn't win with him. So Tim kind of shunned him to the side. That's what I heard. That's what he says in his book.
Damn.
So Tony had to really earn his trust for them to become what they became. So that'll be a future video coming up. That was really interesting. I didn't know that Tim was not cool with Tony Parker like that at first.
Me either. That was a shocker when I first heard the story. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like I said, I can't wait to find out more details, man. I'm definitely gonna talk about that in the future video. I'll do a live stream on that one. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What you would call it? People ignore Duncan low management, but again, that was really more so Popovich though. And like I said, if Pop didn't do that, we don't know how long Tim Duncan plays because he suffered a lot of injuries. He suffered a lot of injuries during his prime. It's just Pop was able to manage his minutes. That's why he played as long as he did. And again, Tim Duncan wasn't going out to get stats. So he was able to do like every other thing, even it felt like he was a superstar role player in a sense. I don't want to say it like that, but it was.
That's a great term. Yeah.
He was like a superstar role player. That's what Tim Duncan was, man. And, that's what it was. But yeah, that was Pop. I was actually responding to Jay saying that the West is wide open, unless I misheard that. If I did, my bad. I would say that this is the Lakers West right now. They're the champions, and like I said, there's just a lot of uncertainty without all these other teams. Because, and Jay, you could add on to this. Are the Denver Nuggets going to do the same thing that they did last year? This was a bubble. This is now, and even though there's going to be some fans to capacity, it's not going to be the same because they're not going to be in a bubble this time. And it's like I said before, in a regular 82 game season. As much as I picked Miami to be a dark horse, I don't honestly think that they would have gone to the NBA Finals in regular 82. If you look at that, the way that team is constructed, they don't go to the finals, in my opinion. But I would have said that, and remember what I said. I said at best they could get to an Eastern Conference Finals. I said at best. I didn't look at them as the NBA Finals. I said the cards would have to fall right for them to do that. That's what happened.
You did say that though. I remember you saying that. Yeah.
I said that in many live streams. I said the cards would have to fall right for Miami to play as well as they do to get there. You look at the Denver Nuggets. I didn't think they were going to go as far as they did, and the reason being is because I felt that their team was not built for the playoffs. It was a regular season team, but they're still too young and they lack experience, and they just don't do the thing. They didn't do the things down the stretch that they would. Because you look at the series against Utah, they should have beaten them in 4 or 5 games at least.
Yeah, convincingly. They should have won that series convincingly, man.
Even without their players, they were more talented and better than that Jazz team. It's just Donovan Mitchell and everybody else. That's it. and they went down 3-1 to the Utah Jazz with Rudy Gobert, who only really defends. Donovan Mitchell's their best scorer. They got Royce O'Neal, good player. They have, Jordan Clarkson, good off the bench. They got, Joe Ingles, but they're inconsistent. They don't always show up. And then, come on, man.
Mike Conley,
Mike Conley. He's a dud. He's a dud. I can't say no more, man. But they should have beat them easy. So it took them 7 games to beat them, and then the Clippers should have beat the Nuggets, and then the Nuggets, you already know what the Clippers did, so they screwed up. And then the Nuggets got to the Western Conference Finals. But I said that the Lakers were going to beat them in 5. I didn't see the Nuggets, doing it because I just said defensively, kind of question it. Jamal Murray was injured, so he wasn't playing as effective. That's another thing.
And now they lost a key piece. Jeremy Grant went to Detroit, so that was a key guy for that team.
That's a big loss. And also, you didn't get Drew Holiday, which would have been huge for them if they got him too.
Yeah.
So that team would have looked a little bit different. I would have looked at them as a little more as a contender, more so they would have gotten Drew Holiday, but they didn't get him, and they lost Jeremy Grant. So
now you got old ass Paul Millsap. You got to put back in the star lineup.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jay, you said it perfectly, man. When the Jazz are taken seriously, the Jazz have no chance wasting money on Clarkson too. He wouldn't have been so bad if their team had a better starting lineup, honestly, like him coming off the bench. But they're not that good of a defensive team. To me, they're an overrated defensive team.
They are overrated, man.
And it's because they're not a good offensive team. That's the thing. Their defense to me is overrated. When I look at Rudy Gobert, he doesn't impact the defensive end like people claim he does when I watch him play. He doesn't defend his position that well. And another thing is, why does Quinn Snyder keep putting him up against point guards? He's going to get burned every time. He doesn't have the foot speed to guard point guards. He's not a hybrid.
That's what I said. I said that a long time ago, man. They keep switching him out against these point guards. They are burning him every time.
Every single time. It does not make sense. Jesus Christ, man. All right. Salute to LeBron James, the GOAT, man. Appreciate you, man. See you later, no doubt. Have a good night. AJ says the Nuggets signed Michael Green, man. Your thoughts about his additions to the team?
Oh, yeah, they did. Yep, they sure did.
Not only that, JaMychal Green actually threw shots at the Clippers after he signed with the Nuggets. He said that team ain't got no heart. That's what he said. He said the Clippers got no heart. And let's be real. Like I said, I listen, superstars are always going to get preferential treatment. NBA history tells you that.
Mm-hmm. It's
how you deal with it. It's how you deal with it. You got to deal with it. Superstars are going to get the preferential treatment. It's always been like that. This dude, Montrezl Harrell, talking all this nonsense about he couldn't stand the fact that Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were getting preferential treatment. Michael Jordan always got preferential treatment. Kobe Bryant got preferential treatment. Shaq got it. LeBron has always gotten it. This is not new, people. This is not new. All the superstar players that play, Steph Curry gets preferential. Come on, like it.
All of them. Yeah.
Look at Russell Westbrook. Now Kevin Durant is a little bit different because I feel like he doesn't get the preferential treatment because I got treated in OKC and Golden State. So that's another story. But yeah, but for the most part, superstars have always been getting this treatment. And again, salute to Tyree, man. Back to back, $24.99 donations, man. Salute to you once again, man. I appreciate that, no doubt, man. Salute. But I'm sorry. Like Montrezl, to me, again, he's with Clutch Sports. So he was given Clutch Sports pretty much the behind the scenes of what's going on with the Clippers. And for those who keep saying about this, that LeBron is a boss and all this, let me tell you something right now. That's how LeBron is able to do some of these sabotages. Look at Draymond Green. How many championships did Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors win on LeBron James? And Draymond Green came out to Maverick Carter and was dissing Steph Curry right in front of him. I mean, well, yeah, he let Mav diss Steph Curry. Basically, what they're telling you is that LeBron, why does LeBron still got the Warriors in his head if they're no longer a threat in the Western Conference? Klay Thompson's out. Steph Curry missed most of the season with a hand injury. The team was pretty much depleted. So why are you still messing with that? You look at this Western Conference right now. Who's really a threat to the throne of the Lakers in the West? Who?
Nobody.
The Pelicans, they got to develop their young players.
Memphis too young.
Yeah. Memphis is too young.
Yeah.
The Phoenix Suns, they're on the rise, but we got to see what they're like with Ayton, Chris Paul, and
they young too. They entirely too young. Yeah.
Devin Booker. We don't know what the Clippers are going to be this year. We don't know what the Houston Rockets are going to be this year.
Portland out of the equation. We already know they failures.
Portland, if healthy, they'll be a playoff team, but I don't see them going that deep. The Denver Nuggets, to me, this was their Cinderella run. I don't think they're going to be, what they are. So
yeah.
Sacramento, they got a bad situation over there. So
they don't know what they doing over there. Hey, management's all jacked up.
Luke Walton's your head coach.
Yeah.
Look at Minnesota. Minnesota, that's another bad situation over there.
No direction at all. Yep.
The Utah Jazz, need I say more? Next.
No shot creators except for Mitchell.
The Dallas Mavericks, they're still trying to build themselves up. So we don't know. And this guy's hurt.
I see them winning back-to-back Lakers. Yeah.
All right, man. Let's look into the comments. The best part about Clarkson was catching Kobe's pass to secure the win in Kobe's last game. I mean, that's his most memorable moment. That's his 5 seconds of game.
Oh man.
Gobert's overrated in my opinion as a defender. In my opinion,
he is, man.
I feel like those defensive player of the years, he it was given to him with probably some advanced analytics or
it had to be. It had to be. Yeah.
It had to be some metrics. When I look at the eye test, he's not as good as a defender as people claim he is. Tyree says the Nuggets can't play defense, so Coach Malone should have started Michael Porter Jr. to the starting lineup, and they would have made it close to beating the Lakers. That's true. That was a mistake they made. Michael Porter but Michael Porter made the mistake of calling out his coach. He should have told him behind the scenes. I knew from when he did that he was already in the doghouse after that. So Mike Malone was going to throw him under the bus, and he was going to make his excuses. But I knew that was going to happen. He also still has to develop, but I like his game.
I do too.
G Money, the Pistons screwed up free agency. Yo, what you think about your Pistons in free agency right now, man, and with the draft?
I think they had the best draft. I think the Pistons had the best draft out of any team. That's just my personal opinion.
I ain't gonna lie. I like the fact that they drafted the point guard. I actually wanted him on the Knicks. Instead, they took Obi Toppin, man.
My only issue with him, he can't finish with his right hand. That's my only issue with that guy, man.
True.
Yeah. Other than that, I like the pick. I like the guy they got for Villanova, man. That's the steal of the whole draft. I don't care what anybody says. Yep.
I agree with you, man. I really feel that draft pick was a steal, and people are going to sleep on that. But I'm telling you right now, that kid is a sleeper.
Low key, the Pistons had the best drive out of any team, man. They ain't shining a light on them, and that's okay. We don't care about that. You can shine a light on these other teams, man, but we had the best drive, and that's the bottom line.
All right. Let me just check real quick. G Money says, man, I told people that the Clips were not going to win it all. Lou, you did pick the Lakers to beat the Clips had they won Game 7. You said that in your game. I told you, man, once Kobe Bryant was gone, it was already set in, bro. I said that from the get-go.
Yeah.
The thing was, there was question marks to see if they was going to help LeBron win, but I told you, once Kobe Bryant passed away, it was set in stone. You knew that they was going to dedicate this. This is when all that fake love was coming out about Kobe. You already knew. I knew. I already knew. So Michael Kidd is replacing what Jeremy Grant brought to them? Nah, he's not. I mean, the only thing he really does is just he was a standstill 3-point shooter. I mean, he doesn't really do nothing much else. Jeremy Grant is versatile. They're gonna miss his versatility.
Very versatile.
And he's younger. That's the thing. He's young too. So that's what they're gonna miss. So he's not replacing them anytime soon. Exactly. Nobody's got an answer for Anthony Davis. That's the other problem. That's the other problem. That's the other issue, bro. Let me see. Lakers have the easiest path to the NBA Finals. It's the truth. It's the truth. People, listen. The ones who were saying, listen, and Jay could agree with me on this. When people were talking about if the Portland Trail Blazers were going to beat the Lakers, I said the whole damn time that the Lakers were going to beat them in 5. And I said, why? Because they don't freaking play defense, and that's a poorly IQ basketball team. I said that.
Yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
I literally said that. I said the Lakers beat them in 5. The Lakers beat them in 5. Oh, Damian Lillard with the soup. The dude doesn't play defense.
I was caught in the moment, Lou. I was one of them guys that said the Trailblazers was going to win that series in 7. I said in 7. Yeah.
No, and like I said, I get it, man. It's cool because at least you can admit that.
Yeah.
I just looked at it from a matchup standpoint, and everybody, Damian. The thing is also, man, the Blazers, they were playing for their playoff lives. So honestly, they really didn't have a chance to rest. Every game was do or die, and a lot of the games that they were playing, they were in so many close games. I said, what?
Yeah.
I said the Lakers will have one letdown, but I said the Lakers after that, they're not gonna let up after that. Because honestly, if you look at the way the Lakers let that game go, honestly, they were somewhat trying, but they were also trying to see what Portland likes to do. But it's like it's really not hard to predict the style of play. I said, once you figure out the Blazers style of play, it's easy to beat them, man, and pick them apart. And that's because they don't move the ball. So they don't ball.
They don't have any plays. They don't, man. It's so predictable.
That's my point. That's why I said the Lakers beat them in 5 because they're too predictable. That's the problem. That was the problem. And then also with the Houston Rockets, I said, they look so different against Oklahoma City. I said, wait till they play the Lakers. I said, they're going to get one. I said, they're going to get to that predictable offense crap, and the Lakers are going to beat them 5. What happened? They beat them in 5.
Yeah.
The Denver Nuggets were a little bit different, though. There were games that they could have won, but you question Mike Malone. You have to question the refs. You have to question, obviously, Jamal Murray was hurt a little bit. Jokic was not that affected because he was taken out of games with early foul trouble. So it was a little bit of mix. And then obviously LeBron and AD doing their thing. KCP played really well, pretty much from like middle of the season all the way to this entire bubble playoffs. That's why he got paid $40 million. Now he ain't worth $40 million. Ain't no way I'm paying the guy $40 million. But but he earned his pay. So he was actually impactful. Okay, Ryan says that Shaq said that he never practiced because he knew he didn't have to prepare to go against players because he was too dominant. Well, that tells you how weak the center position was getting. And number two, he said it. He had Kobe, so he knew he could just get ready and just relax. The Pelicans are beating the Lakers if both teams are healthy in the playoffs. I don't know about that. I gotta see how the Pelicans. I gotta see. Zion's got to take that next step. You can't expect me that Zion is going to play on athleticism to tell me that he's going to do that. And if you notice when people are like making a big deal about Zion and LeBron defending him and look how LeBron shot. Let's be honest. Zion does not have the offensive game yet. So it's easy to defend a guy who's predicated on athleticism and size. He could jump out the gym, but he don't got a skill set. Now, if he's more skilled, he's going to be more tougher to defend because he has so many things to go to. If you take something away, he could go to something else. Zion is not at that level yet. He's just right now playing with athleticism. He's rebounding. And the thing is, I think now with Stan Van Gundy, we're going to see more opportunities with Zion now. We're not going to do this Alvin Gentry BS. Alvin Gentry is not a good coach. He's had a couple of good seasons in his career.
He's not an overrated coach.
But he's another overrated coach. He is.
He is trash.
He has success when the team is tailor-made for him to coach, but he's not a great coach. He's not a great coach. Warriors didn't have that much of a cakewalk because they had some competition when they went to 5 straight NBA finals. The biggest cakewalk they had was 2017. That was their biggest cakewalk. 2015, 2016, even 2018, they had competition.
Yep.
And that was with Kevin Durant. 2017 was the only cakewalk that they had, which a lot of people complained about. As to they didn't face anybody. Well, you can make the same for the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2017 back in the Eastern Conference. They didn't play anybody neither. They didn't play nobody. They didn't play anybody. You really think that a team led by little Isaiah Thomas at 5'9" was going to beat LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and the Cavaliers? Get the hell out of here with that. Ain't no way that was happening.
Hell no.
Jay says Shaq felt quick. The East overall was just that bad, man. Still isn't the West. The East has been weak since 2000. That's a fact. I've been saying the last 20 seasons.
The East been weak since Jordan left. That's a fact.
First of all, and Jay knows this, why does the Western Conference have more championships than the East? Because the West is stronger and the East is that weak. As simple as that. If it was East 10, the West 10, there's a balance of power. But there's no balance of power. The balance of power is in the Western Conference. Even with the West getting weaker. I'm going
to say this too. It's a reason why Michael Jordan's the GOAT, man. When Jordan played, everybody was watching. I don't care what you was doing, man. Everybody was watching the NBA when he played. LeBron's playing.
Right.
COVID hits. Everybody's at home. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no jobs out there like that. Everybody's watching TV. Why is the ratings so low, man? If this guy is supposed to be your GOAT, why are the ratings so damn low?
It's pretty simple, man. The reason the ratings are so low is because the problem is, if people don't notice, LeBron has also tried to be a politician. And I'm going to say this right now about LeBron. What LeBron is the greatest at when it comes to overall, he's the greatest politician in NBA history. And the problem is Adam Silver's pushing it too. That's why people don't want the ratings are down. And I said this before. If you're the greatest player in basketball, if you're quote unquote the greatest player of all time, this is what's so inconsistent about this, man. And Jay ended up bringing it up, but I got to mention this. First of all, you can't come out, call yourself. First of all, you said that you're chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan. You said that after you won 2016, after you came back from 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Then you said in 2019, It took you first of all, why did it take you 3 years to then say after you beat Golden State 3 years ago that right there made you the greatest player of all time? If it took you 3 years to say that, that means you don't believe in what you're saying. That's what that told me already.
And his friends didn't. That's why they looked at him crazy.
Okay. You sat in front of your friends because you have an HBO show. You knew people was watching. Bro, even Rich Paul made that face. Where he laying in the back of the couch like, yo, I can't believe we're going over this again. Like, and then when he wins this 2020 NBA title, then he wants to say, and Rachel comes out and like, I'm guessing this is the LeBron James Invitational. I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? Yeah, he's been inviting people to win championships off him. He's got 6 losses. So, but then you want to also come say that, oh, that's what you guys are talking about. But LeBron, you've been pushing it through the narrative constantly on TV. I mean, he came out and said that he's as competitive as Michael Jordan. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're not as competitive as Michael. No, you're not. Please stop. This is why LeBron gets the hate that he does, and some of the stuff. And then he says, he said that he did not watch. He didn't really watch The Last Dance, but he was commenting on some of the episodes that happened when he compared himself to Jordan when LeBron won his first title to Jordan. I said it was completely different. First of all, different time period. And also when you won your first title, you were with 2 other All-Stars.
Right.
Jordan was with Scottie Pippen, and that was
only had Pippen. That's it. Yeah.
And the thing is also Scottie Pippen did not make the All-Star team in 1991. So it's 2 different
scenarios. Didn't. Yep. No All-Star. Yep.
It was 2 different scenarios. So, I'm gonna say that, and now LeBron is like I said, The Last Dance, it buried LeBron James. I don't care what anybody says. It buried LeBron. It buried him to the point that now he's taking notes from. First of all, this lets you know that Jordan is the GOAT. He's taking notes from Jordan. He's still comparing himself to Jordan. Check this out, Jay. I don't know if you know this. Steph Curry just became his own brand.
Right. I know. Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself about this about LeBron. Even though LeBron has a branding with Nike, why is he still with Nike and not his own brand?
Right. Jordan is.
Yeah. Jordan is his own brand. Yep. Even though he started from Nike, Steph Curry is his own brand in Under Armour. And LeBron James, 17 years in the league, going into 18, and you're still not your own brand.
Still token boy for Nike.
People got to think, man. This isn't hate, man. This is the facts. I've watched LeBron's career from the beginning. Salute to Omar, man. Appreciate you. That's right. Nobody's got to answer to AD. Oh, it's already, man. Let me see. Let me just go real quick. Okay, Tyrese says, actually, the East from top to bottom is close. I wouldn't say top to bottom. I would really more so say the top. That bottom East is still kind of weak. The top of the East is improving, and I will say like maybe the 5th to the 6th seed has gotten better, but I wouldn't go all the way top to bottom. But I respect the opinion, Tyrese, so no problem with that, man. Oh yeah, from the time that Bron came back in 2014, yeah. They were the best team. Yep, exactly. It's the SJW and political era. That's why the ratings are down. When I come to watch basketball, I don't come to see politics. I come to see basketball. But because they're pushing this agenda, that's the reason that the ratings are down. People don't care about that. But what's going on in the world, they don't care about that. They want to come and they want to see sports. They don't care about that.
Yeah.
The problem is, when did the NBA become political? And as a matter of fact, that's why the game was so popular too, because there was no First of all, if Michael Jordan did exactly what LeBron James is doing right now, he would have been criticized for it and he would have been called a fool. The only difference is social media was big, but it wasn't as big with social media like it is now, because there was no social media back then. The people would be criticizing Michael Jordan, and David Stern will be looking at him a certain way because, again, David Stern is no Adam Silver. What Adam Silver's doing right now is hurting the game. He's trying to do too much, trying to act like if
he's catering to the players.
He's catering to the players. He's catering to the players. Whereas, even though David Stern, his golden child was Michael Jordan, at the very least, though, David Stern was the word Stern fit his name because that's exactly what he was as commissioner. Okay? So the way that players were with David Stern is not the same with what players are with right now in today's game with Adam Silver. People are saying Adam Silver is the GOAT. He ain't no damn GOAT of no NBA.
Go
He's doing a
what?
terrible job. He's a terrible job. He's doing a terrible job.
His ratings are down. He's not the GOAT. Nobody watches the NBA anymore. It's all about the NFL right now.
And the worst part is, you notice that the NFL rating slowly went up when they stopped doing the social justice stuff because they were following what the NBA was doing, but they realized that the ratings were going down, so they had to remove. They still are technically doing that, but they're not doing it as much as they were in the beginning, and that's why ratings are starting to go back up again for the NFL, even though they haven't been that great.
Plus, this is a better sport. Period.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. We could talk about Lonzo Ball, big baller brand. I mean, that's his own thing.
Yeah.
Ball is Santa Puma. It's Puma. That's not calling your own shots. Oh, right. That's true. G Money doesn't mean he's not as competitive. It just means mentally he will check out faster than MJ. That's a fact. That is a fact. Bron is not as competitive as that. And I'm glad Tyree mentioned this part. And shout out to Jeff in the Zone. Appreciate you. He says, when will AD sign with the Lakers? He's not signing with the Lakers because he's waiting to see what Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to do. That's what it is. Because they're trying to get Giannis to come to the Lakers.
Oh my God.
That's what it is. That's why he hasn't signed yet. I'd be surprised if he signs soon. But getting back, man. Getting back to the thing with Bron. Here's the thing. I've seen this man's career from the time he got to the NBA. Are there moments that LeBron could be clutch? Yes. I've said this before time and time again. There's moments that LeBron is underrated in the clutch. Here's the problem. He's had more flameouts, arguably, than any superstar in NBA history. Yeah. We talked about 2011 earlier.
2010.
We could talk about 2010. I could talk about 2009 when he low-key quit against the Magic in Game 6.
Yep.
Against Dwight Howard. You know how I feel about Dwight Howard. I'm sorry. You look at 2018. You look at 2017. If you look at those two series against the Warriors, they were a lot closer than people actually really think. He just got his numbers and made excuses that there was no way. Just look at LeBron's mentality. He already went in thinking about losing already before he even stepped on the court. You think I wouldn't want to play with a player that doesn't believe he can win? Even if the team is better on paper, whatever, man.
Put Jordan on that team, they would have beat the Golden State Warriors. Put Michael Jordan on that team, a prime Michael Jordan on that team.
And so, and I'm gonna use this example. And for people who say that that LeBron, he gets nothing, that the team that he took to the finals, Jordan couldn't do that. Let me give you an example.
What?
Take Magic Johnson off of the Lakers with Kareem and James Worthy and put him with the Chicago Bulls that had a couple of cokeheads on their team, 85, 86, and then put a young Jordan with Kareem and with James Worthy, with AC Green, with Norm Nixon, Bob McAdoo, Jamal Wilkes, Michael Thompson, Byron Scott, and tell me how many championships Michael earns. And another thing. Magic Johnson with the young Chicago Bulls then has to go up against Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics.
And Isaiah Thomas on Pistons.
Even if Magic is a playmaker, think about it. Who really can get their own shot on that Chicago Bulls team? And the funny thing is people have said that Jordan has gone against plumbers, but dudes have not been able to name players on that 86 roster. I can name you guys like Kyle Macy, Charles Oakley, Orlando Woolridge, John Jackson. I mean, I could go on and on, but I saw the 86 series. There's a lot of guys who have no name guys on that roster. A lot of George Iceman Gervin, who really didn't play that much.
But he was on his way out. Yeah,
he was on his way out, and he low-key didn't like Jordan. So that's what I'm basically saying, man. It's like dudes can't even tell me dudes from the 86 roster. I could tell you Bill Walton for the 86 Celtics. I could tell you Rick Carlisle, Jerry Sheesting, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Larry
Gerald
Bird,
Henderson,
Gerald Henderson, Kevin McHale.
Yep.
I think Chris Ford was on that team.
He was on that team. Yep.
So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like some dudes just don't watch the games. They just come up with these hypotheticals and they just go 1-9 with this. That's the problem, man. It's crazy. G Money, just because you win more than I do doesn't mean that I'm not as competitive as you. There are people who lose every day and still are just as competitive as winners. Exactly. That's a perfect way to say it. That's a perfect way to say it. I'm just saying that it's not that LeBron isn't competitive, but I'm saying when you compare him to Jordan, he's not competitive when you compare him to Jordan. Jordan was, when it came to competitiveness, Jordan was a psychopath. This dude would compete.
Hell yeah.
Dude.
He was competitive against his own kids. Remember that story? Man, that dude, boy, his competitive nature is unreal, man.
G Money, you're confusing winning and competitiveness. Yeah. What did G Money say? Hold on. If you are competitive, you can't mentally check out. I agree with that because I actually agree with what G Money's saying because when you're competitive, you're still there, you're in that mode. You can't mentally check out when you're a competitive person. It's true. You're wanting to win.
That is true.
So I agree with G Money on that, man.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Wow, G Money. Wow, okay. I like that. Yeah.
No, it's true. When you're competitive, man, you're doing anything that it takes to win. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Anonymous, man. Is this true, Lewis, that the trade is real? Yes, it is. Russell Westbrook is getting traded for John Wall. It's a fact. That is a fact, Anonymous. Shout out to you for coming through. No, Bron is a competitor. He is. It's just compared to MJ, he's not. That's the difference. He's a competitor, but at his convenience. But when
he's no MJ, he's no Kobe on that competitive nature. No.
On that competitive nature, no. MJ is more competitive than LeBron. It's a different level. It's true. MJ is an animal when it comes to competitiveness. I'm sorry. I can't find another player. Probably Kobe is probably the closest when it comes to competitiveness. But Jordan, but Kobe's competitiveness stops at the basketball court. With Jordan, it's on and off no matter what. He has to do everything. Golf.
I say, what's the name is a good competitive nature. It's underrated. I say Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, you could make the case with that too.
Yeah
you could.
I'm gonna say Zeke. Yeah,
because he still won't give it up that he can't hate Michael Jordan. So he can bet up on that. I mean, he's been competitive from the time Jordan got drafted. So I feel you on that one. It's just true. He holding on to that. That's true. That's true. I'm telling you, he don't like Bobby Knight. He don't like the fact that MJ is in his hometown, Chicago.
Right.
MJ punching Reggie Miller. I ain't gonna lie. Jordan should have got kicked out the game, but they didn't kick him out. They kicked Reggie out for that. Instead,
Reggie started it though.
Reggie did start it. I will say the trade-off was that Jordan got suspended as the trade-off. I think Reggie got fined, but he didn't get suspended. So I guess
he didn't get suspended though. Yeah,
that was the trade-off. I still think Jordan should have got kicked out. So they could have got fined. Lewis, you my NY bro from, man. I'm Cali all day, man. But we the east into the West Coast connection, man. We have to do a stream call that. Oh shoot, that sound lit. The East to West stream. Oh, I like that, man.
Okay, yeah.
It's a lit name right there, man. East to West Coast connection, man. That sound dope. Sounds like the name of a future podcast, man. That sounds dope. That's lit. Shout out to Anonymous for that. So LeBron is not trying to be competitive and be number one. No. LeBron wants to be number one. Don't get me wrong. But it's like I said before. It's when you use the eye test, there's certain things that if it looks good for LeBron to be number one in, he'll be number one. When it doesn't look good, he'll do number one things, but then isolate himself from, whatever it is that, he doesn't want to be a part of to make it still like he's being number one. So he does want to be competitive. He'll do things at all costs. But remember, like I said, when the chips are in his favor, LeBron will step in there and
and want all the credit. Yeah.
And the thing is, when you're competitive and you want to be number one, you got to be willing to accept the blame. And that's something that Bron isn't. At least with MJ, he did do that.
Yeah,
Now there was moments in the Last Dance where it looked like he was trying to be face and trying to be all clean, and I get it. And the thing is, in one aspect, I can understand MJ. When you're as big as he is, Yeah, sometimes you gotta kind of have to be an a-hole with the fact that the media wants they want a piece of you at every single second. Because again, Jordan is global. Everybody knows who he is. Even people who've never seen basketball, they know who he is. First, and let me tell you something about LeBron real quick. When LeBron went to China for Beijing, I read this article. LeBron said he didn't realize how big Kobe Bryant was in China until him and Kobe actually went together for Beijing, and they went to do a team photo for the '08 Olympics. He didn't realize Kobe was so revered in China, and I told people this a long time ago. A part of LeBron is jealous of that. Why do you think he protects China so much? When you had that Daryl Morey situation, the reason being is because that Chinese market that helps make his shoes for Nike, since they work together, coincide. Jordan and Kobe are global icons. Kobe's known internationally. That's what LeBron wants. And LeBron is big, but he's big in America. Jordan and Kobe are big around the world.
They worldwide. Yeah.
So their impact around the world is what LeBron is jealous of, and that's what he wants. I see that with my eyes. You don't see how Chinese people, they go crazy for Kobe when he was doing his Asia tour when he was
they went bananas, boys. Yeah.
They love Kobe, bro. They love Kobe. They love him. They love Kobe over there. So, and that's what LeBron wants. He wants that. So they're trying to market him in terms of a global brand. That's what he wants. He wants that cult that they have. Also, competitors don't make excuses. Ron makes a lot of excuses when he loses. That's the truth. Okay, Karam says, will Russ with Scott Brooks fit? Oh, hell no. It didn't happen in OKC. Yeah, they went to the NBA Finals, but that was on talent. Russell Westbrook and Scott Brooks, that's a marriage made in heaven because Scott Brooks is going to let him do what he wants.
He can shoot how many shots he want to take. He's going to take his 30 shots per game. Let him take it. Yep.
And I'm telling you, it's going to be at some point that Bradley Beal is going to want to get out of there. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
It's more than stats, man. Bron is great, but he does stat pad a lot, and you need to open your eyes. It's the truth. If you look at 2017, when the Warriors won, I said, what was the problem with the Cavs? They didn't defend. Bron showed poor leadership. And on top of that, he got his numbers to say that he averaged a triple-double. And Tyree, I prove it to you. There was, I forgot what point it was in the series. I think it was Game 4, before Game 4 started. He told the media, I think, asked him about what do you do to slow Golden State down or whatever. And it's like, what do you think that you can do? LeBron said, I'm averaging a triple-double. What else do you want me to do? When I heard that, check the receipts.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Check the receipts.
I have always said that about him. He's one of the biggest stat patters in NBA history, man. He is a true stat patter. The reason why nobody talks about it because he won championship. That's the only reason nobody brings it up because he won title.
Yeah. Kobe arguably I think could possibly be more competitive than MJ, but I would say that's on the court. When you talk overall competitors on and off, MJ tops everybody on the list. Hell, even Magic Johnson, man, who was competitive as hell too, low key. But Reggie is the king from my neck of the woods, Riverside County. All right, nice. That's what's up. Greatest to stack the deck. When you are competitive, you have to open your mind to certain criticism. MJ opens his mind, Bron doesn't. I agree with that. G Money, you're coming with some fire points right now. It's the truth. It's the truth. When Michael Jordan said he wasn't a fan of Phil Jackson, that was code for I'm not a fan of the triangle. That's what he meant by that. He wasn't a fan of the triangle offense because he actually liked Phil because he didn't like Doug. He liked Doug Collins because Doug Collins gave him the green light, but Doug was too emotional, so that's why it wasn't going to last. Mm-hmm. That's why it worked with Chuck Daly because Chuck Daly, as fiery as he got, he knew how to be calm. And I said he's got that calm demeanor as a coach that you need to be for a championship team. So I knew Doug Collins, bro, in victories and in defeats, Doug Collins was always getting emotional and crying. I'm like, you
hell yeah.
I said, yo, if he's doing all that, you're gonna beat the Bulls because mentally gonna beat. He didn't even want to do the triangle offense. That just lets you know. So he wanted to do things his way. Competitors don't build super teams. I see. Yao is known international, and he's not on MJ and Kobe's level. He's big in the Chinese. But the thing is, MJ and Kobe are known around the world. It's a whole different. Yao would be the MJ of China. But when you talk about worldwide,
it's not even close, man.
It's not even close. Not even close. It's true. LeBron's competitiveness is not on their level. It's not even close. When you think of competitive players, most people will not have LeBron on the list. Most people. And that's even most.
Somebody said super teams.
In terms
somebody
of what?
Somebody had a comment about super teams.
Let me see down here. G Money. The 80s Pistons had 3 All-Stars at one point on the team. Let me see. Isaiah.
In the 80s.
Joe Dumars.
Dumars was an All-Star in the 80s.
No, Joe Dumars, all of his All-Star teams were in the 90s.
In the 90s, yeah. So what is you talking about?
No.
Lambeer was an All-Star in the 80s. Yeah.
I mean, they traded for Mark Aguirre, but he didn't make any All-Star teams when he was with Detroit. All of his All-Star teams were with the Mavericks.
Right.
But but Detroit was, like I said, Detroit, that was a versatile, talented basketball team. Don't get me wrong. It was versatile, they were talented, don't get me wrong. But yeah, Mark Aguirre made 3 All-Star teams with the Dallas Mavericks. So yeah, they did trade for that. That's true. But their team was homegrown though. When you look at Bill Laimbeer, I think he came from the Cavaliers, and I think Vinnie Johnson came from the Supersonics.
Yeah.
But the homegrown guys were Isaiah. It was Joe Dumars. It was Dennis Rodman, John Sally. Those guys were homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
The Bulls are a super team. What player would Will Perdue get you?
Judd Bushler, enough said. This team, man, I don't even know how the Bulls won, man. Well, all those scrubs they had on that team. They had a lot of scrubs, bro. I'm just keeping it 1,000. They never had a super team.
Didn't I make a video on this not too long ago? about
yeah, you did.
About those 2015 Atlanta Hawks?
Yes.
Is Kyle Korver an All-Star in any other year but 2015? No. Paul Millsap? No. Jeff Teague? Hell no. And then Al Horford? No.
The worst 60-team win in NBA history.
No.
And that's not even a debate. That's not even a debate, man. They the worst 60-win team in NBA history, man.
I'm sorry, man. You can have multiple All-Stars on a team. It doesn't mean that you're a super team. Right. All right. Shout out to my man Julius Caesar, man. It's been a long time, man. What's good with you, bro? Yo, if you guys haven't, man, make sure y'all go check out his channel. He does some great stuff, man. He does movie reviews. He does sneaker reviews. He has a little cooking session as well. He even does some wrestling as well. Yo, just check him out. He's a huge NBA fan and a football fan. Like I said, man, go check out his channel out, man. He does some good stuff, man. You won't be disappointed. Check it out. He said, who's going to end up with a better record after this, Westbrook and John Wall? I don't know. I really don't know. And keep doing your thing, Brody. Can't wait for the season to start again. Best commentary on YouTube. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Shout out to my man Caesar, man. Appreciate you, bro. Dennis Rodman was homegrown. Exactly. First of all, this guy was drafted at 25 years old. I don't think people understand that. He was a 25-year-old drafted. He came in late. Dennis Rodman was
real late.
And for Dennis Rodman to make the career that he made despite all of the drama, all of the antics, all of the personal issues he had, it didn't matter. When he stepped on the basketball court, Dennis Rodman was great. And the thing is, he could dominate a game without scoring. That's how great he was. He was, in my opinion, he was the Bill Russell at 6'7". I look at him that way. He was the Bill Russell at 6'7". He could impact the game. See, this is the thing that people forget too. When you say that Michael Jordan defeated the Pistons when he got old, but then you want to say that a 36-year-old Rodman, he was an all-star, greatest defensive player, and he was on a super team because of Dennis Rodman. Isaiah Thomas played with a young Dennis Rodman. That was a prime Dennis Rodman. And that Dennis Rodman was guarding – he was guarding guys like Jordan. He was guarding guys like Magic Johnson. He was guarding Hall of Fame players. Larry Bird. Larry Bird will cook him every time. That's a different story, but
that's Bird, man. Yeah.
Bird just IQ wise, whole nother level. But he's done it to even the best defenders in the league. So, but I'm sorry, but again, at the end of the day, man. Hold on. Tyrese says that we can't use homegrown when we don't give Steph, Clay, and Green the same excuse. No, I do. They were homegrown.
They was homegrown. Yeah, we I ain't making no excuses. They was homegrown. Yeah.
Steph Curry, number 7 pick. Klay Thompson, number 11 pick. Draymond Green, 35th pick, second round. They were homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
Klay Thompson started his career off the bench. So did Draymond Green.
Yep.
Klay Thompson didn't start until his third season. Draymond Green didn't start until his third season. Those guys were homegrown. So I don't. So again, they were not a super team until Kevin Durant got there. That's what put them over the top.
Right.
That's what put them over the top. Anonymous says Bad Boy Pistons destroyed Michael. Pippen was the need. So it bothers me when people talk how great Jordan was. Bron made a finals with no one in Cleveland. Jordan never made a finals with Scottie Pippen. Again, we got to use that with context. We got to use that with context. We can say that, but again, Scottie Pippen really didn't impact the Bulls until he developed. So we can't say that. If you tell me that Pippen comes into the Bulls and they win the NBA title in 1988, then okay, you could then go off and say Scottie Pippen was the reason that the Bulls won the NBA title. Even when Scottie Pippen got there, it took them 4 more years until they won. And the funny thing is, even when Phil Jackson first got there, the Bulls, even though that they honestly, in my opinion, they could have beaten the Pistons in 90, they were still mentally not ready. They were mentally not ready.
And they say that Jordan never made out the first round without Pippen. Well, that's in context. Like that first round series against the Cavaliers when they won that series, when they came back and won 3-2. Michael Jordan averaged almost 50 points per game in that series, man. While Pippen only averaged 10 points per game. Come on, man. He had no impact in that series at all. It was basically all Michael Jordan.
Tyrese says Isaiah Thomas, Dennis Rodman, Bill Laimbeer, Kelly Tripucka, they all made also. No, actually, no, that's wrong. Dennis Rodman made his all-star teams
in the 90s. Yeah. Rodman was not all-star in the 80s. Yeah.
Kelly Tripucka did make an all-star team, but the thing is, they didn't win with Kelly Tripucka. That's why they ended up getting rid of him. They had Adrian. They had Adrian Danley, who they traded for. I think he made a couple of all-star teams in the 80s, but they ended up getting rid of him.
And Bill Laimbeer made 1 or 2 all-star games in the 80s. I think he only made 1 in the 80s. Yeah.
I think he was a 2-time
87.
all-star.
Yeah.
I think he was a 2-time all-star. I think the other time he made it, I think was when he was with the Cavaliers, I think. The other time he made it was Detroit was in 87, but that's it though.
Yeah.
So, don't get me wrong. The Pistons, again, great team, versatile team, are, in my opinion, greatest defensive team in NBA history. In my personal opinion.
Let's not get it twisted. They do not win those championships out of Isaiah Thomas, man.
They don't.
So put some respect on his name, bro. Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, again, he sacrificed his stats for the good of winning to become a real playmaker. He wasn't just getting hits. He was doing more equal opportunity offense. Again, they went to a 3-guard lineup. There were things that changed with Detroit.
Right.
To be where they're at, man. Vinny Johnson, again, he was kind of like the Jamal Crawford at that time in terms of when
he was cooking guys for real, boy. That's why they call him the microwave. Yeah. He got hot in a hurry.
Okay, shout out to King G. Appreciate you, man. Again, guys, make sure to continue to like the video. Make sure to guys share this on your social media platforms. Truly appreciate that. John Wall and Russell Westbrook traded for each other. Doesn't make sense. Just like Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, that didn't make sense neither. But again, I felt that Thunder ultimately won that. My main point, though, Jordan and Kobe never won a title without Phil Jackson, right? LeBron didn't need that. The only thing Jordan done, Ron hasn't, is beat the Monstars, and that's going to end soon as well. Again, got to take that with a grain of salt because, again, if you're going to win, first of all, both Jordan and Kobe sacrificed, and I'm going to tell you why.
Yeah.
If they did not listen to Phil Jackson, would they have won a championship? The answer is no. When Kobe had Phil had already won 6 NBA titles. When Phil came to join the Bulls, He was an assistant under Doug Collins for 2 years. And when he became the head coach, they hadn't won anything. So it still took them 2 years to win. And yes, Phil Jackson was important for Jordan because he did help them. He helped them get back to team ball. And the mental part of the game was when Jordan was actually more mature and ready. Jordan was mature and ready. So yes, but the whole thing with LeBron doesn't need coaches and stuff like that, that's a little bit overrated because, again, are we talking about LeBron as an NBA champion if he doesn't go to Miami? Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley?
He needs coaching. Eric Spoelstra was the reason why he won those 2 championships with Miami, bro. Let's not get it twisted.
So if
he actually learned how to play off ball too. Yeah.
So if we're gonna say that about Jordan and Kobe, we got to say that about LeBron too. Yeah. In other words, no player does it by themselves. So we know.
Stop with these narratives. Stop with these fake narratives, man, because it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So we know that those guys, but nobody wins on their own. That's the truth. We know that already. No superstar wins by themselves. But I feel like we always keep changing the narrative and keep changing the standards, like in terms of one player over the other. That's a reason why there's debate that continues, and that's a reason why certain players get hate over the other. It gets like that, man. Phil is not an X's and O's guy. He is a motivator. Oh, I said that about Phil Jackson. I said, listen, Pat Riley, in my opinion.
I've been said that. Yeah.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley is a better coach than he is. Yeah, fact.
Thank you. King G said it perfect. Phil was the equivalent to a general, and Jordan was his lieutenant. Jordan needed guidance. That's all he needed. Don't get it twisted. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it, man. Okay. So now they're arguing. About with the Pistons. Okay, when you have a super team, you need multiple number one options. Thomas was the only number one option.
Thomas was the number one option. He was their option. Yeah.
Thomas was the number one option. Joe Dumars was number 2. There were moments where Joe Dumars looked like he played like a number 1, but he was the number 2 option on the Pistons.
Yeah. He wasn't no Zeke, man. Yeah.
All right, man. Pat Riley was the man who held Braun in Miami. That's right. No, Eric, yeah, because he had Eric's back. Eric was a rookie coach when the big three got together. Remember, he already had coached Dwayne Wade 2 years prior to that. So it was different. He was a rookie when he got all 3 together. But Pat Riley was the one that constructed all that. And again, the support of Pat Riley was what helped keep Eric Spoelstra there. But again, you still got to give Eric Spoelstra credit. Because if we're going to give credit to Phil Jackson for Jordan and Kobe, we got to give credit to Eric Spoelstra for being able to coach those teams. Because look, if Eric Spoelstra didn't do a good job, Pat Riley's not going to hesitate and get rid of him. He's not. And the thing is, Eric Spoelstra proved his worth in the years after when LeBron and them left and when the Heat, ended up, Wade became a shell of himself and Chris Bosh. Mm-hmm. And you saw what they did in the bubble just now. Eric Spoelstra is a great coach because he's able to keep the team.
Eric Spoelstra also helped LeBron like how to play off ball. Like he wasn't doing none of that, man, beforehand. And I thought he was going to do the same thing after he left Miami, but he went back to playing the LeBron James system. He went back to that.
Well, it's true. Golden State, G Money, I could tell you don't understand common math because you can only have one number one. It's true. When you have a super team, you can only have one number one. You can't have 2 number ones. It's not going to work. Mm-hmm. Why do you think Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant didn't work?
Nope.
One guy thought he was a number 1. You can't. You have to have a number 1 option. Your number 2 options are capable of being number 1.
Number 1.
They have to accept the number being the number 2 option. You got to be, even if you're a superstar, you got to be the complement. Why do you think Miami won the championships? Dwayne Wade is a number 1 option, but he allowed LeBron to be number 1, and he took the number 2 role. That's how it works. So Tyree is actually right on that. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. You got 2 number 1s. Somebody got to take the backseat. You can't have 2 number 1s on one team because it's not going to work. That's going to mess up chemistry. You want to keep chemistry flowing? Somebody got to take a backseat and sacrifice. That's what Dwayne Wade did. He let LeBron take the keys and let LeBron be the number 1 guy. And again, LeBron was actually played with the Miami Heat. And the thing is, he was not comfortable playing off ball. He still isn't, which is why he went back to the LeBron system when he went back to Cleveland and what he's doing with the Lakers. It's just the difference is He has Anthony Davis. The team was constructed well enough so that he could win. And then if you look at this Western Conference, and now with the uncertainty of the Western Conference this year, that's what it is. Okay. Ryan says, Lewis, do you think system teams hide players? Yes, they do. That flourish on playoff teams and championship teams. Example, Chicago Bulls, same as a player who people think is overrated because of the system. I don't think he got to finish saying what he was going to say, but exactly, Jay. It's a 1A, 1B. That's it. Exactly it is. Okay. Warriors had 2 number ones in 2017 and 2018. But G Money, let me ask you, who took the number 2 role? It wasn't Kevin Durant.
It was Curry. They had to. That was the only way they was going to win. He had to accept that. Curry, that's why I say he was a great teammate. He accepted that. Man, that takes a lot of sacrifice. Just like Ray had to with LeBron. Same exact thing.
No, Mavs were not a super team. Mavs
was never a super team.
That 2011 team was a veteran team. It was a veteran team.
This is a veteran team with a great role players and then the superstar in dirt. Yeah.
And listen, they believed that they were going to go to the championship. I didn't think Dallas was going to go to the championship that year. So they were underdogs because I don't think anybody saw that. Look, they were predicted to lose to the Lakers. They beat them.
They swept them.
Swept them. People thought that the Young Thunder were going to be too much for them.
I did. I thought they was about to destroy the Mavericks. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, but the IQ of the Mavericks overcame that.
Yeah.
And first clutch play. So Spoles ran the Showtime system that Pat ran in his day with the Big Three. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can number 2 number more number 1 options. You need the right system and need to sacrifice that. You can't say at times. No. G Money, you need to understand something, bro. You're showing me you're not comprehending. You can have 2 number 1s, but the thing is, one of those number 1s has to be a number 2 in order for it to work. You can't say at times.
There ain't no such thing as 2 number 1s. It doesn't exist, man.
It does not exist. You cannot have 2 number 1s, man. It does not make sense. It's a 1A and a 1B. No. Yeah. You need a 1 to 5 back. Okay. Yeah, but you don't get it, bro. You can't just say 2 number 1s who can pull their weight. One of the number 1s has to be a number 2. Simple as that, man. That's it. Exactly. That's like saying, oh, so you're going to have 2 people drive the car? You can't do it. Somebody has to be in the passenger seat. The other guys got to drive the car. You can't have 2 people driving the car. That's like putting 2 steering wheels and be like, I drive left, you drive. It doesn't work that way. What's the car going to do? It's going to split up when we try to go to the intersection? Nah, man. Come on. No. I'm sorry, man. King G says, what's your top 5 of NBA all time? I've said this many times, but if you haven't heard it, here's my list. Michael Jordan, number 1. Kareem, number 2. Bill Russell, number 3. Magic Johnson, number 4. Larry Bird, number 5. And I got LeBron at 6. He just misses out on my top 5. That's my top 5. G Money says, I didn't say that. I'm saying you need at least 2 go-to guys on the team. You did say that, but you said 2 number 1s, though. Like if they were number 1s. Anonymous says, can we agree that LeBron is doing the same thing Wade did for him for AD in LA? No, yeah, that's the truth. That's true. I mean, let's face it, AD has not won anything. LeBron's won 3 championships. Now he has 1 and LeBron has 4. Mm-hmm. So Anthony Davis, the thing is also, y'all got to understand this. In today's NBA, the best player is either your 2 or your 3. It's not your 4 or your 5. It's your 2 or your 3. Your teams are not built around big men. It's built around wings. It's a wings league.
It's a wing and guard league. Yeah.
It's a wing and guards league. So it's a wings league. Your best player, especially if you look at all of these finals MVPs that have been won in the last 20 years, most of the guys on that list.
I think the last big man to win an MVP was Shaq. If I'm not mistaken.
The last finals, let me see. The last finals MVP that was a big man was actually it was Dirk Nowitzki. Even though he was a perimeter player, At that point, he was playing the 4 position. The last
Yeah.
legit big man to win that award was actually Tim Duncan. He was the last one to be Finals MVP. So it's only been Tim Duncan and Shaq. It's only been them. But if you look at the Finals MVPs, it's been Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, he won one. Chauncey Billups. Yep.
Dwayne Wade. Paul Pierce. You look at Kobe, he went back to back. You got LeBron, he went back to back. You have Kawhi Leonard. Obviously, you got Iguodala, LeBron again, and then Kevin Durant, and then Kawhi Leonard, and then just now LeBron James. So if you look at the history of the league in the last 20 seasons, only 3 big men have won the Finals MVP. The other ones have mostly been forwards and guards. And the only 2 point guards that won it in the last 20 years are Tony Parker and Chauncey Billups. They're the only 2 in the last 20 years to win Finals MVP. Let that sink in. So that just lets you know where the NBA is at. So that's what I'm saying, man. KD, like LeBron, can't play as a second option. KD was better at it, but both need to be number ones. That's it. You got it. That's how they won. You answered my recent question. Because let me ask you this question. You think Curry's going to be able to do what Kevin Durant was able to do after what happened in 2016? Curry was not there mentally after that. So that's why he had to accept the number 2 role. Because mentally he was done after what happened. Anonymous says, Lewis, your channel is so underrated. Some of the best sports talk on YouTube. I sent you a link to a few YouTubers, man. We need to get you more peps in here. All right, man. I appreciate that, Anonymous. I appreciate that. G Money, man, I agree with your point. Gideon, that's 1A and 1B, man. Nothing else. I still believe you can have 2 number 1s, but if you disagree, that's okay. G Money. Is Dwayne Wade a number 1 option? Yes. Is LeBron James a number 1 option? Yes. 2 number 1 options, right? Here's the kicker. One of those number 1s has to become a number 2. Because guess what? How are you going to be able to share the shots if you have 2 number 1s trying to do the same thing? It's like I just said. It's like Dwayne Wade gets to drive the right side, and LeBron drives the left. And that's
the team going to tear apart. Yeah, tear apart.
You're going to tear the car apart. You'll be like, oh, LeBron, I'm going to drive right, you drive left. Unless you know the car splits apart. You can't have 2 drivers at one time. It's got to be a lead driver, and everybody else got to follow. Right. The second guy is supposed to complement the first.
It's common sense, man, basically. There ain't nothing hard to it.
Because you know this, bro. D-Wade was the number 1 option in the Heat. LeBron was the number 1 option in the Cavs. When you come together, things are supposed to be more easier. But how easier is it going to be? You need a lead guy, and the other guy takes a back seat. That's how it works, man. Batman and Robin. Yeah, so you're right. 2 number 1s, but the thing is that number 1 becomes a number 2. It's a 1A, 1B type thing, like Jay said. That's how it works. You saying 2 number 1 options is going to confuse people because there can't be 2 number 1s on any team. Curry was number 1 for the Warriors, but he became number 2. Why? Because Kevin Durant. Clay is number 2, and he got pushed to the 3rd option. That just lets you know right there. That's how you construct a team. When you're getting another number 1 guy, somebody got to be number 2. 2 number 1s can't win a championship. It's never been like that. It's never going to be like that. Unless if somehow it changes. If some team could change the paradigm and say 2 number 1s could win a championship. I've never seen that, and I don't think I'm ever going to see that. And I'm going to say this right now, and I think Jay can appreciate this. Michael Jordan, and I have to mention this guy, Isaiah Thomas. They're the only 2 players to change the paradigm. First of all, Isaiah changed it in that your point guard can lead a team to a championship without having a dominant big man. Yeah. And then Michael Jordan was a scoring guard who was an MVP, who was able to lead a team in championships as being the leading scorer of the NBA. Isaiah Thomas, without a dominant big man, as the point guard. And he was a finals MVP in 1990. Mm-hmm. And then Michael Jordan did it in 91, the very next year after that, as being the guy who led the league in scoring, won the MVP, and was able to win the NBA championship. Those 2 players right there changed the paradigm of the NBA. Because Kenny Smith said it on open court. He said at one point in time, when you guys went to the finals 3 years in a row and you guys won 2 championships, the thinking was we had to get 3 guards. Now, Obviously, their three guards are not at the level of Isaiah, Joe, and Vinnie Johnson. But that was the thinking, though. Even with Hakeem Olajuwon as a center. But that was the paradigm that the Detroit Pistons set.
So that's all fact. No cap.
This is why I said that this team doesn't get enough credit. There's little things that Detroit did that you see today.
Yeah, they was really ahead of their time.
They was ahead of their time.
Yeah, they really was. So.
The Pistons were really a jump shooting team that penetrated to the rim. They had some scrappy players, but their jump shooting team, their jump shooters are really, they have some post players, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were ahead of their time. When you look at the construct of today's NBA,
stress 4, stress 5. That's Detroit.
Exactly. Tell it to him, sis. When have two number one options ever won a championship? People just want to be right.
Wow.
Exactly, sis. Exactly, sis. That's what I'm saying, man. G Money says, I hear your opinion, but I think otherwise. I think G Money's just trying to be right, man.
He's stuck in his ways. Let him be.
It is. All right, man. Appreciate you, Tyree. Blessings, man. Say hi to your son, and hope he's doing well. And salute to your family, man. Appreciate
Tyree.
you.
Yep, one love.
And King G says, man, people forget Michael Jordan dominated his game, man, as a shooting guard. People seem to forget that. Right.
He did.
That's right.
He played bigger than he was. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
And all right, man. Jay says, man, the 1A mentality and a 1A mentality gives you the Houston Rockets. Perfect example. Couldn't have said it better. Couldn't have said it better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. Oh wow, G Money left as I said my opinion. I guess he didn't want to hit it. He didn't want to hear the truth. Hey, look, he's sticking to his narrative too, huh? So there you go. But right. All right, man. So all right, guys. So we're just about done with this stream, man. I want to thank everybody for coming through. I want to thank Jay for being a special guest on the show. Where the Houston Rockets will be this season, I don't know. I kind of like the fact that we kind of drifted off and just went on these other topics, but it was great to talk about this one as well. John Wall is, like I said, man, John Wall, when he was healthy, one of the best point guards in the league. I just felt he underperformed in the playoffs. And when you really look at Russell Westbrook and John Wall, they're actually very similar when you look at kind of their careers. The only difference is Russ has an MVP award and John Wall doesn't. So Russ has been the best player. And Russ has been deep in the playoffs, but that was also with Kevin Durant. As lead guys, they haven't been able to do it. And the crazy part was Russell just got to the second round with James Harden. Before that, he had been out of the playoffs 3 straight first-round exits. So that was another problem he was dealing with. John Wall, he's never gone to the Eastern Conference Finals, even though his 2015 Wizards and his 2017 team should have gotten there twice. So he should. Him and Bradley Beal, they should have faced LeBron 2 of 3 years, but they failed when the going got tough, when it mattered most. John Wall just didn't do it for me. So
no jumper, inconsistent on his jump shot, man.
So like I said,
it's just gonna fall. Yep.
Are we asking too much? Again, thank you, Jay. 2 wrongs don't make it right. 1A and 1A equals no championship. Exactly. 2 wrongs don't make it right. So that's why I said that. I don't know what's going to be the Wizards in the Eastern Conference. Anything is possible. The bottom part of the Eastern Conference, they're not reaching the top. I'd be shocked if they have some amazing season, but Russ is back with Scott Brooks. That's a marriage made in heaven for Russell Westbrook. Scott Brooks is going to let him do what he wants.
Stat pattern. Yep. Stat padding.
Again, the thing with Russ is Russ has never had an alpha level coach or player to put his ass in check.
Facts.
That's why Russell has been the way that he's been. This ain't got nothing to do with Russ's game. This ain't got nothing to do with his talent. Again, Russell, if he would have learned to accept his role, he would not be having the problems that he had in his career.
I always said if he played for a Coach Popovich, his career would have been a lot different. I have always said that. Yep.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. King G says AD is 1B. He's not number 1 option. That's LeBron. No, that's facts. We know that. He was the number 1 option with the Pelicans. We saw how that turned out. So we know. Nah, the Lakers became the tale of two seasons. Adam Silver's destiny for the NBA. Oh yeah, we know that. Due to this pandemic, like I said, it was a dream season for the for the Lakers. They got it done, obviously. But again, who really wanted to play, man, with everything that was going on? So AD was the number one option. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
Sure.
Let him believe that. I tell you, LeBron will say anything, man, and LeBron fans will believe this dude easy. I'm telling you, AD led all statistical categories, but according to LeBron fans, LeBron is the best player on the Lakers. He's not. He's the most important player, but he's not the best player on the Lakers. It's Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
How can
He's not the
LeBron
best.
leads LeBron leads all statistic categories. LeBron is the best. AD does it. Oh, he's not number one. It's LeBron.
They don't even win the championship without AD. And that's a fact.
It's true. Because then if AD's not there, then what's it going to say? Oh, when is LeBron going to get the help that he needs?
Yep, that's the excuse.
I mean, I don't know, man. Y'all can't be serious, man.
All right.
Again, AD's not the number one option. LeBron's just saying face just to make sure that everything sounds all good. No. AD's not the number one option. Trust me. He's not. He should be the number one option, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. And it's predicated on LeBron's Finals MVP. That just lets you know right there. Because AD is the more impactful player at this stage. At this stage of LeBron's career, AD is the more impactful player. The LA's defense was a top 5 defense in the NBA. That was not the case the year before when Bron was playing.
Yeah, they was horrible. They was one of the worst. Yeah.
Which is why I keep telling people that this whole thing about Bron being a leader, you could lead a team, but that doesn't always make you necessarily a leader. KD led the 2014 Oklahoma City Thunder. But am I calling Kevin Durant a leader because he led a team for one season? Your leadership needs to go beyond that, man. It's got to manifest itself in the postseason. That's a true leader.
His leadership is overrated, man.
That's what I'm saying, man.
That's my opinion, man. Yeah.
Westbrook and Beal will clash hard. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I see it coming, man. I see it coming. People don't understand, man. I'm telling you, man. I see it coming.
Might be a fist fight in there.
And trust me, Scott Brooks is going to stay away from that.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a true Laker fan right there, man. Jay's a competitor right here. He says, I don't celebrate that Lakers championship. I want him to win in somebody else's backyard, man. The bubble produced a championship.
I respect that. Yeah. I respect that.
Listen. Okay.
I respect what he said.
Will Josh Richardson addition help the Mavs on the defensive end? Absolutely. I thought the Mavs.
Oh, hell yeah.
They low key are one of the other winners, low key sleeper winners of the offseason. Josh Richardson.
So now they can hire Luka.
One of the that was a great pickup on the trade that they made to get they got veteran help with Al Horford, and they was able to get Josh Richardson in the trade. That was a great pickup by
that was great. So they can hire Luka on defense now. Yeah.
Right. I'm excited to see KD and Kyrie and how they play this year. We're gonna see with Brooklyn, man. Like I said, defense is a big thing. I gotta see how they look. And like I said, that might be a Tony Steve Nash thing. I don't know. Let's be real. When Bron teams played Kobe's team, Bron beat Kobe more times than Kobe beat Bron's team. That's facts. That's true. But the thing is, I don't hold regular season matchups. I care more about playoff matchups. I think that regular season stuff doesn't really hold as big of a weight as people claim it to be. So, yeah, Bron is 16-6 against Kobe. That's fine. But I always go back and say, how many times did they beat the playoffs? Don't tell me Bron owns KD. But result is, when we look at NBA Finals, KD 2, LeBron 1. Even if you want to say, he joined the 73-19.
Doesn't matter.
The bottom line is, when it mattered, 2-1.
Yep.
LeBron fans would even tell you the same thing if I said, oh, KD owns LeBron in the regular season, but if Bron's beating KD 2 out of 3 times, I'm going to say, well, but when it mattered for the championship, LeBron beat KD 2 out of 3 times. I'm going to always go to that result. You play the game to win. That's a problem. A lot of these guys use these other stats to kind of protect these other guys. But I'm saying if you meet in the playoffs, you play to win. You play to win. The name of the game is you want to be great. You want to be remembered as one of the greatest of all time. Not only do you have to stack up your individual resume with hardware, with accolades, but at the end of the day, you want to win from the team perspective. You want to win championships. That's how you measure yourself when it comes to the pantheon of greatness. When it comes to the pantheon of the greatest of all time. Larry Bird, 3 out of 5. Magic Johnson, 5 out of 9.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron may be 4 and 6, but he's got 4 rings. Kobe, 5 out of 7. Shaq, 4 out of 6. Michael Jordan, 6 out of 6. Bill Russell, 11 out of 12. The greatest winner in NBA history. Kareem, he's got 6 championships. So it's about winning. It's about winning at the end of the day. So that's how it is, man. Yep, that's right. LeBron bombed in 2019, but his fanboys, they just want to go off with that whole 4th place narrative. First of all, they get on Kawhi Leonard, but guess what? In Kawhi's first season as the number 1 guy in the Western Conference, even though he was on a good Clippers team, guess what? He was 1 win away from going to the Western Conference Finals. Now, does that mean something? Not really, because he didn't go deep as he did. But guess what? He made the playoffs. He made the playoffs. That's what I heard that Braun was going to do, and he didn't get the job done. A lot of excuses were made that season. They had more than enough time to get into the playoffs. You mean to tell me that Braun was not willing to put his undefeated first round record on the line against a Golden State? I would have gave him props for being a competitor, but guess what? He sat the rest of the season, and all these excuses were made. So that tells me that he wasn't a competitor. Mm-hmm. I don't care if I lose to Golden State. I'm going to compete against them. That's the mind of a competitor.
Wouldn't even guard KD.
He wasn't going to guard KD.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in 2017 and 2018. And that's why that switch happened with what was it, J.R. Smith?
J.R. Smith, yeah.
I'm looking to see what's going to happen, man. But all right, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. This is your boy Lewis with another one. Salute to everybody. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I want to shout out to Jay for being my special guest.
Salute.
Man, fire stream as always, you guys. You guys always keep it lit in the chat. Y'all already know, man. We chat together. We stream together. We family for life. From the Lewis Sports Network to my man, Jay Jeff, man. Bless up. Live, laugh, love. Thank you guys for being a part of the stream. And y'all already know, man. Like the videos. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure to share this to your social media platforms. Comment at the end of this video when the replay comes up below, man. Shout out to Tyree once again for the donations. I truly appreciate it. I don't ask for donations. So what I always do is I leave the links in the description. So if you guys want to donate, you don't have to. Like I said, it's not an option. But if you want to, the Cash App and the PayPals are in the description on the links down below. But anyway, guys, have a blessed night. And we'll be back on the next one. And also make sure to check out my small reaction to the John Wall, Russell Westbrook video. This is the full reaction. I did a small video earlier, so make sure y'all go check that out. Make sure you guys like and share the videos on that one too. So anyway, guys, as always, man, y'all already know how Lewis Sports Network always goes, man.
All right, now the Giants' turn to try and answer, and here's Saquon Barkley.